Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank, man. You guys already know we're joined by Patrick Price, aka Aches. We got the one and only Benjay Naseem, and then of course we got a special guest in the building, multi-FPS champion, one of the best to ever do it. Give it up for Enable, aka Ian. What's going on, Ian? What's going on, brother?
Hey, Tom. That was a good promo. Look, last time I filled in, I went undefeated. That's all I'm saying. 2 for 2.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Ian, how you doing, bro? You doing all right, bro? You doing all right?
You know what? I'm doing fantastic, Tom. LAT won today. They look good. You know, that's all that matters.
It's your squad right there. What about you, Ben? You doing all right, Benjay? You doing okay?
Yeah, long stream today. 10+ hour stream. We're grinding this morning. And then an interesting day at COD. Excited to dive in with y'all.
Yeah, we're going to dive in. Had 4 matches today. And Slayer, what about yourself, bro? Everything doing all right?
Yeah, I was doing great until I joined the ninja, Tom, and I see a bum above me.
No shot. No shot. Parasite
That's
is
crazy.
in challenges.
Now I got beat your ass.
Yeah, nah, Chris, for those of you wondering, Parasite is playing challenges right now, and I guess there was like some serious delays today, and they weren't able to finish in time. So I told Chris to join up after, so when he's done with that, he might join up. No cam today, but maybe he'll join us for the show. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. But we got a very good, very good special guest today. So everybody give a warm welcome to Enable. But guys, we had a lot of great matches today. 4 matches, long day at COD. I'm excited to get into it. I say we hop right in. Don't want to waste anybody's time. Let's talk about these matches. To kick things off today, we had the Florida Mutineers going up against the new look to the Minnesota Rokkr. We got a Hydro Hardpoint, Mercado S&D, Hotel Control, Mercado Hardpoint, Embassy, Search and Destroy. I mean, Ben, we'll kick it off with you. Is there anything in the vetoes that you saw that you didn't like?
No, vetoes are pretty straightforward. Rokkr, obviously, you know, coming into this series, their form has been really poor. And we should remark that this series and the third one were all played in front of a live crowd in Wisconsin. So I guess to kick off, we should probably talk about the homestand, our thoughts on it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I saw Clay and Zinni talking about it on Twitter a little bit, but I guess some of the players are a little annoyed about it because Minnesota Rokkr is playing twice today, they feel like that's kind of unfair. Like they can catch fire in the first series and use that momentum into the second series. I mean, what do you guys think about it? Do you think it's fugazi? I definitely think it's cool that Minnesota Rokkr is trying to think outside the box and get some matches with some supporters there. And it was cool to see them play on LAN today, too. It was an even playing field when they played in their matches. So,
can I go first?
Yeah, of course,
I gotta
Ben.
be honest,
Wait, Ben, before you go, sorry.
Yeah.
Can I watch like the stream or the games without having Tommy stream on? Is there like another link or no?
You gotta watch the stream.
You gotta watch on Tommy's stream.
All right, keep going.
Nah, you
I gotta be honest. I have 2 words to describe what I saw on Twitter this morning. Crybaby cheese. I guess all the TDL players are discovering away games. Like Rokkr announced this thing 6 or 7 months ago. I know there were some scheduling considerations, but if players had problems with a double match, then they should have brought it up months ago. Complaining about it today, the day of the event, is like ridiculous to me. I get I understand where they're coming from. And I think Brett Diamond, the COO version 1, which is parent company of Rokkr, has said on Twitter, like their goal was to do a couple of these, prove out the business model with the idea of other teams doing them as well. So that's my kind of thought on it.
Wait, but Ben, I get what you're saying. I just think your example is horrible. This isn't about away games. Like away games would make sense if like each team had home and away, but in this example, like the complaint was literally it's only the Rokkr that is doing this and no other team. So like I get your point. I agree with you, but your point of like away games is horrible.
There's nothing preventing other teams from doing it, bro. There's nothing preventing other teams this season from doing it.
Money prevents other teams from doing it, which is I think Zinni's the one who said this, and it's like, well, if this is the case, and it's like it's up to the orgs to whether they want to put this on, then is it not becoming pay to win? Like imagine the NBA.
Oh, we're crybaby cheesing about capitalism.
No.
Capitalism, crybaby cheese. Give me a fucking break, bro.
That's incorrect, and I can tell you why. Imagine the NBA, the Lakers or the Warriors could pay for more home games than away games. That's not the case. So to your example, that's literally what you're saying. It has nothing to do with capitalism. I like your shirt on, by the way. I think you should blow up your shirt here. But it has nothing to do with capitalism.
Oh, we're not
the only team that is doing this, and I think that's the point that's being made. It's not about whether it's fair or unfair for the league to do this as a whole. If all 12 teams did at least one home series, then sure, yeah. But yeah, it goes to the point of like, we're in a market in this league where there's like 5 teams who actually have money to do activations like this, and the other 7 just straight up are not putting that funding to this league. And so, yeah, I think it does bring into the consideration of, okay, well, you know, are the teams who can afford this just able to do it and put themselves in a situation where they get an actual advantage in a home game, and it's because they paid for this activation. That's the point that was being made.
Bro, support your team or lose. Like if you think they're getting auto wins for doing this, support your team or lose. I don't know what to say, man. This isn't fucking socialism league. Like, if you want to spend, get the fucking no.
We have a horrible league where there are 5 teams who have money and 7 teams who don't. You see it in the salaries, you see it in everything else, and then adding on top of it the fact that, you know, these activations occur for those 5 teams. It's the same logic. Like, Activision should have done better due diligence when they got these 12 franchises. I mean, shit, we've seen some.
This has nothing to do with the homestands, bro. You're just airing out other grievances.
There are literally some teams that can't afford this, bro. If Vegas put on a homestand, they would be in Clay's garage in Texas. Like
that's my point. That's my point, Pat. Like, bro, Rokkr are trying their best to do right by their team.
I'm not saying Rokkr did anything wrong. That's not the case I'm making. I'm just saying from a competitive.
I think you guys are both agreeing with each other.
Both agreeing with each other.
The pay to win shit is ridiculous. They still have to go out and win the fucking matches. Like, I find
but one team does get an advantage. This is why I hate this, Ben, is because you were making this exact same point on the opposite side for Optic. You were saying, "Oh, Optic at ESA get a massive advantage. They get their
y'all didn't agree with me. Y'all didn't agree with me, and now you're being fucking hypocrites.
Well, no, you're being the hypocrite. Regardless of my stance, you literally are taking a complete different argument. That makes no sense. You can't have it both ways.
Listen, Ian, as the mature one of the cast, what do you think is going on here? Who do you agree with? Do you think they're both agreeing with each other? I feel like they're kind of agreeing with each other. I understand what Pat's saying about competitive integrity. Like, it's weird having one team just do it. But I also understand the other side where it's like, from an organization trying to bring in fans and do cool things and make the league exciting. Like, you know, it's cool that they're doing something like that. But what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think they're agreeing with each other. Like, Ben's right with the crybaby cheese, Clay or whoever else. They shouldn't be pissed at Minnesota. And Pat's
I don't
also
think anyone was, were they?
No. I mean, I don't think necessarily, but Pat's also right.
They've also they weren't pissed in Minnesota. They actually been to Minnesota.
I think the league, like, you got to handle that right in the beginning. Like, the fact that Minnesota got the AOK, the green light. You said what, 7 months ago, bro? If you're not going to make it fair, you shouldn't allow one team to do it. As simple as that. Like, yeah, I get it. Every team could do it, but if only 1 or 2 teams is going to go forward and do it, I just don't think you should allow it as a league.
I don't agree with that. You know, I think the bigger issue is, like, if teams had a problem with the double matches, that should have been resolved months ago. I have no idea. I was in the room. You know, I asked on Twitter if teams surfaced complaints. I didn't really get a clear answer from anyone.
No, I'm not talking about double matches. I'm talking about having, like, a live event. I'm saying if you're the league, right? If you run the league Activision, you shouldn't just be like, yeah, Minnesota, you can have a live event if no other team wants to. You should just make it, like, because that is competitive integrity.
I mean, all I would say is in another Activision league, in Overwatch League, they've been doing this for a while and it's been 0 complaints. So
how successful would that been?
Those events have been pretty good. Fucking Optics, Overwatch component, Dallas Fuel have done a bunch. Houston Outlaw have done a bunch.
Higher than the CDL.
Yeah, which with the Asian teams, but both of the Fuel and Outlaws teams have done homestands before where they played 1 or 2 matches. They've done those. That was pre-COVID, and they do one post-COVID. I think how's Houston?
They was talking about capitalism, like bro. I don't know. You might as well keep it pushing.
No, I just think, look, my last thought on this, because I think we should move on and talk about the series.
Go ahead.
I think we're gonna try and get Brett Diamond. Brett Diamond actually hit me up, Tom, to come on the show at some point. I think I want to get Brett on and talk a little bit of Rokkr's thoughts on this.
I don't think this is a Rokkr thing. This is
can I finish my thought? Can I finish my thought,
sure,
please?
But this is not a Rokkr thing.
Well, I want to wrap it up because we're going to move on. But the point is, like, I think the idea from Rokkr's end is to prove out that this is a sustainable business model for other teams. And I think the goal, if we ask him, is probably to see 4, 5, 6 teams do this next year.
This isn't a Rokkr thing, though. That's on Activision. This is like a Daniel Sai, however you say his last name. This is a him convo. Yeah, that's who we're supposed to be hearing from. That, of course, Rokkr should be.
I love to pick Dan's brain. I would love to pick Daniel's brain about, but we should talk to Brett though as well.
All right, well, let's move on with the map. I want to highlight a play here because it was a pretty back and forth game. Love the plays here from Afro. He just stays alive here. You can see it's Fame who's in Hill, who actually played very well today. We got to give Fame his props because I thought he looked great today. Like the patience here from Afro. We know he's a hyper aggressive player, likes to push people out and stuff, but he does a good job here just being patient, waiting for his teammates to get pushed up the map. I feel like it's little things like this. You'll see a lot of players, they won't do this. They'll just kind of hit the hill and try and make a play, but just feel like Afro just waiting for his teammates, staying alive there was a big play here because they were able to collapse here, pick up the last 30 seconds, and then they end up going into a listening here in a couple minutes right here. I want to tune into the Minnesota Rokkr listening because obviously they have fame, a new player for them. I want to see how the boys sound, so let's tune in.
Deep hour. Yeah, in front of Gummy, nice. Bruce, hit the outer now, Brett. Just hide careful, okay?
Yeah, taking corner.
One's in blue, one is in blue.
Yeah, they could hit the back when you
in this one and P5. Nice, it's Brett.
One Brett. B2 and back to God Rock. B2 and God Rock.
And mid that.
Nice.
Let's not hit it.
Out right now.
We're going to be P5, we can hit mid. I'm getting out.
I'm getting into blue.
I've got outer, okay?
I have blue. I just stunned you.
I'm playing the blue in the corner.
Yeah, I'm trying to play the back. I'm gonna get on long rock.
Blue on me. Blue, no, he got me, bro. Two, yo, one's on old, one's blue. I might spawn out. Did someone get info so I can pinch?
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Top blue. He hasn't shot yet.
We could be on top.
Nice.
On old, one shot blue. On old fellow. Nice, last guy. You look for outer. One shot blue, you. One shot outer, he's gone out. Nice. One
I'm playing God Rock. Yeah. He's mid.
I'm getting your pool camp.
There's three
How many up front? Yeah, I'm playing your single dad. There's one to throw. Yeah, I'm a stack.
Yep, I'm blocking myself.
Hide.
He's Cubby.
Maybe.
Yeah, Cubby.
Cubby.
Yep.
That's Cubby. I'm challenging. One more front.
Yep. I'm trying your outer. He's gonna be front door already.
Nice.
There's two front doors.
Yeah.
One close.
I'll get the back.
Could be your small.
Marcus, get Cubby. Nice. I'm watching top there. On time on you. Nice.
Go, guys.
Nice.
I have a streak for this 2-1.
We have still got shit. If you want to go right, Kev. Do you want to go deep, Kev? Yo,
I'm playing right. I'm playing for it.
He's back blue.
That was a long listening, but that was a really good listening, man. These guys are hyped up. What do you guys think? A little honeymoon phase, maybe? Like a little, just something fresh, maybe something new. They got a lot to prove, I feel like. They didn't get any points in the last stage. So I feel like they're trying to come out and make a statement. What do y'all think?
I mean, they're a team this is a massive day for them at COD. Like, if they hadn't pulled up today and played their best, there could have been more changes on the horizon. They were feeling the pressure from Vegas below them. So, yeah, I think Rokkr had a lot to prove today.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, Pat, Ian, anything at all before we tune into the last second of this game? Because I feel like Florida always trolls these P1s at the end half of these games, bro. I don't know what's going on. They had the spawns for P2. Great. Comms are good. They had a lot of energy.
I think any team with Bance on it, no lie, has good comms.
Yeah,
they're not too
Ben's
high.
Always had good comms.
Pretty clear. I think he told somebody to blow him though in the comms. I don't know if y'all heard that.
Hey, yeah.
That's what it sounded like, bro. He said he blew you.
No way, bro. Ben actually makes the play. Ben's the one who makes the play here. He takes a little swim route. I don't even know how Florida let Minnesota just kind of waltz out of front. I don't know how they got the kills. It looks like Afro found Capsule. Also, by the way, Capsule needs to slow it down a little bit, man. He needs to hold some more corners, hold some more L triggers. I feel like he's just running around too much. He had a really rough series today. And he got caught on his P1 running around. Minnesota was able to get him to the front. And you can see Bance. He makes a big heads-up play. He ends up swimming right through, flips the spawns, and Minnesota were able to close this one out. So big plays from Afro on that second rotation over about a P2. And then that was arguably a situation right there where Florida maybe could have done something there. Maybe could have won the map there if they held those P2 spawns and kind of soaked up some time. But Minnesota, they held on strong. So good plays from them. Any final thoughts, guys, on a map one? Anything you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, I actually just watched it back, Ian. What he said was he blew by me.
Okay.
Yeah, and you should be really familiar with that because that's what my GTR does to that little Mercedes you got.
No way, bro.
Anyways,
no way.
Nah.
Anyways,
I got him.
I think just to touch on the comms, I think that was a big reason why Minnesota won. Even the play that you pulled out with Afro, where he was like waiting, I'm sure there was good comms flowing, and it wasn't just like an individual play necessarily for him to just stay in the back and play his life. And I don't know. I think you could just tell Florida, like you said, they're not playing corns enough. Capsule don't have it. They're just running around. They're really not playing smart.
No discipline. Yeah, no discipline.
Yeah, they have negative.
Also, I don't think they showed scoreboard after the first map. Did they not show the scoreboard here? I just see them. They're getting all hyped up. These guys are literally. This looks pretty cool though. The setup looked cool here, like the lighting and the colors and stuff. I mean, to go back to the map a little bit, look at those bright lights behind them, bro. How are they shooting straight with those bright lights behind them, bro? I don't understand that right there. They were shining on them. Look at that. Look at those lights, bro.
They did a good job.
They're not in Minnesota, right? They're in Wisconsin.
No, they're in Wisconsin.
Yeah, Madison, Wisconsin.
Is that close by? I'm assuming.
You would think that they would do it in
They
Minnesota.
had the whole town there, though. It was packed.
And then we get into they had the whole town there. Then we get into the next map. We get into the Mercado S&D. Listen, Tyler Fellow with the snipe in this one was insane, bro. Yeah. I don't know what he ate today or what was going on, but Tyler Fellow decided to whip out the sniper rifle today, and he was making it look easy, man. He was hitting snipe after snipe. We get into the first round. He finds a snipe mid-map off the rip. Then he also turns this corner here, finds another one onto Fame, and he's getting the bomb down. So Tyler Fellow really coming out strong, man, in the first round. They're going to go up 1-0. Then we go to the second round. Fame, the new guy on the block. He made a really good play in this one. It's a 2v3 situation. I always talk about in like 2v3s. If you're down a man, I always feel like it's a good idea to kind of separate and try and make like a solo play. I feel like this is kind of, whenever you're down a man, that kind of gives you the green light to go rogue and try and make something happen. And Fame, he's just going to kind of run over towards garage, going to catch one slipping. Love the way they planted this bomb here. They actually set Fame up perfectly for the 1v2. They planted the bomb towards mid-map, so Fame can work this angle, shoot Fellow off the bomb, and then, of course, the good heads-up play coming in from the new guy. He uses that stun. We know how OP stun grenades are, man. Like, if you hit people with stuns, they can't move at all. Good 1v2 from Fame there. He's really showing out today. Then check out Tyler Fellow again, bro. And it's not often you see Fellow snipe it. You guys like Fellow with a sniper? I mean, after today, I feel like he should do it a lot. He should snipe a lot more.
He's sniped a lot in the past. I think I remember quite a few games where he had the sniper out, but I mean, he was locked, bro, for Florida. Like, he was just locking down middle. Now they end up kind of trolling a few more rounds, but he did his best to try and get it back in the series. I've seen Fellow snipe.
I thought he was, I mean, when he was in the pro league, he was always on teams with like Naga and Aqua. And
he had a sniper on his team back then, though.
Like always.
I've seen him sniping games though. Like, it's not new to me.
Nah, he definitely can snipe. I mean, then we get into the next round, get into the fourth round. Fame with the really good plays. I like how he gets aggressive here. He's able to find a big two-piece Braxall by himself. He's going to go down. You can kind of see here how Minnesota was able to kind of string some rounds together. A few troll rounds coming in. Again, this is Mercado, so a lot of this was just rushing A over and over and over again. It was very rare. You see teams going B. But we get into the what is this? The 8th round here. Just think Capsule makes a weird play here. I mean, what was the plan there? You know what I mean? What was the like?
Not thinking. There's none. There's no plan.
What I don't understand here is why is Capsule pushed up but nobody else is? Like, if you're gonna push, do it as a team. Like, if Capsule's gonna get pushed up and get control, why is nobody there with him? Like, I don't know if they got slowed down by like nades or like stuns, but right here, as soon as Capsule jumps across and nobody's there, I just feel like they should be going. Like, they should be there with him, and he shouldn't even be challenging back alley by himself. Like, he should just be playing a corner, like waiting for them to come. They're on defense, so he shouldn't be making a play there. But what do you guys think? Think Capsule kind of messed up there?
Yeah, man, a solo play, bro. Like, they were so slow to get there. What do you think? There's gonna be no one back alley? I think they're gonna be like.
Yeah, that was weird. It was just a weird play.
I mean, he messed up the whole series.
Yeah, he was struggling.
I think
he did have a 0.5, Ian.
No. Well, you know a lot about that, Pat. I think all the plays you saw. Put that shit in your mouth. Like, a lot of what happened this series was just him, Tom, like you said, really just not thinking it through. You know what I mean? Just trying to play too reactionary. Yeah. Like right there. Like right there, I'm sure in his head he was like, I'm just gonna peek this corner. If I see someone, I'm just gonna try to snap on him. Yeah. But there's like no comms, no teamwork, anything like that. I think that's his biggest issue as a player.
That's a good way to put it. Reactionary. That's a good way. Like, he plays based on just like his talent. But like, if he used his head a little bit more and put himself into better situations, it'll probably help him out a lot more. And then we get into the next round, and he stakes his teammate in the back of the head. Capital, he stakes Bragg in the back of the head, and then Fame finds a kill in this little glitch spot where you can like lay down on top of a curb. And Minnesota was able to close this one out. Havoc was the last one up. He was trying to make a play. People thought he might have been able to do it, but you can see the Minnesota guys, they're getting hyped up. This guy in the crowd's going absolutely fucking nuts. And then we take a look at the scoreboard. Final score, 11-5 from the new guy coming into S&D. Not too shabby, eh? Not too shabby. I wasn't too sure. I mean, I know we don't have Parasite here. He's usually the Challengers guy, but was Fame that guy in Challengers? Was he really turning down? Because I've heard a lot of names in Challengers, and I've seen a lot of people talk about a lot of different people, like Kremp and Real, and like just players that I feel like people are always talking about. Fame, I feel like, was kind of like a quiet pickup. Like, people talked about Fame, but not really talked about him, you know? Like, how good was this guy in Challengers?
I mean, he was pretty good. That Rokkr Academy team has been like icy at times this year, and him and Real have been a really good complement to Goddard and Pander, who are more like the cerebral challenger style players. So I think Fame's been doing his on this team. I know that Real was probably, and when I talked to Attach on stream this week when he got drops, that Real was potentially in contention for a spot on this team, but had visa issues. I think Fame definitely was frying at challengers level.
Yeah, and then we obviously get into the control, get into a hotel control. Minnesota was actually, they came out and outslayed the hell out of Florida in the first round. They just kind of pinned them back, was working so many kills. Florida got absolutely pounced on. Then Minnesota go over to the defensive side. They do the same thing back. They end up going up 2-0 here in the control, but Florida are able to bring it back and tie it up and bring it into an overtime. There was a play here at the end of the game that I want to bring up. That I really think if Capsule slowed down here, and again, I hate to keep ragging on Capsule. It was just like little plays like this where I feel like Florida could have won a map if they did this properly. But take a look here at the mini map. You can see Capsule. He's going to make a really good play. He's going to push through main and going to push through that arch. That's 3 dead right here. That's 3 dead. You know they're spawning back Sana here, especially with number 7 pushing through main. Like, you know they're going to get those back spawns. I think right here, Capsule needs to relax. Like, just camp the head glitch, and just kill the guys coming out of Sana. Like, you gotta read the spawns there and know that they're coming off spawn, because if he gets a kill or 2 there, that opens it up for the squad, and they just kind of flood in there. Is there anything you think Capsule should have done differently there, or do you guys just agree with what I said? Just like maybe.
I agree with you. Trust his teammates. Like, trust your tactics.
Trust.
I think he's just completely lost this series and was trying to do a little too much. It's good VOD to go back and learn. I mean, obviously, they're still fighting for a champ spot, and this is a tough 10 points to throw away, but I agree with you full speed, Tom.
Yeah, you're right. 100%. I wish we could watch his POV like this whole game, because I have a feeling that he was just reacting, I know I said that already, to every single call out that his teammates gave him, and was like almost over helping instead of thinking big picture. Like you said, like
trying to do too much.
If he just slows his game down, he'll get so many free kills. And like it'll open up the map tremendously for his team, but instead he's just, I don't know, bro. Everybody sees Shotzi and just tries to be cracked. I swear. That's what I think it is. You just try to like make your gameplay too saucy, and there's only one Shotzi.
That's the thing too, is like you have to know when you can bring out the sauce and when you just need to camp a corner and literally just L trigger, including Shotzi, like including anybody. Like you have to know when you can go rogue and when you just need to play a corner and get some kills. Like.
Not all your kills got to be flying at somebody.
Yeah, now all your kills got to be flying at somebody. And like a perfect example is like in Hardpoint, right? Like if you rotate, you got a clean setup. If you get a 4 dead, that's a green light now. 4 dead, they're spawning out. Like somebody block, and that gives you the green light to go do something crazy. Go rogue and do whatever. But
best kills are the back shots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
The freebies,
bro. The back shots. I mean, 12 and 36 from Capsule. He really struggled today. He had a rough series. On the other side, Cammy played well. 34 and 26. I think a lot of people have been waiting for Cammy to step up. We know what Cammy has done, especially in like Cold War, right? Like that was a game where he was just like a straight superstar. Everybody wanted this guy. Then he kind of, has been up and down. People have been saying that Cammy hasn't really been himself. So I thought it was good to see Cammy come out and have a good series. It was a good win for Minnesota Rokkr. Any final thoughts? It was a quick 3-0, so good series from them.
I was going to go back to Fame. I mean, like, I think he had the second best debut in CDO history. At a 1.5, right? Like I think only Standy beats that in Cold War, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, damn.
He had a 1.5?
That's crazy.
Yeah, 1.5 in this series. But that's pretty impressive. I mean, I obviously didn't know too much about him. I mean, obviously we heard he was just good in challengers, but I think he had a pretty dominant debut across the board today.
Yeah, no, he played really good. I think we gotta give it to him, bro. Gotta give him his props. He did a great job today. Ben, any thoughts before we head into the next series?
No, I think Rokkr with a I can't say the word, with a much needed win, and we'll get to their other match later on the show.
Yep, that one will be after this. So we get into the second match. We got Boston Breach going up against the Toronto Ultra. We got an Embassy Hardpoint, Hotel Search and Destroy, LSC Low Control, Hydro Hardpoint, Embassy Search. This one ended up going all the way down to a last map where Boston was able to take it. I mean, Ben, we'll kind of think, start things off with you with the vetoes. Anything that you didn't like about the vetoes? Was this a series where you were complaining about the vetoes?
No, it was the last series. This one was pretty straightforward. I mean, Boston's really good at Fortress, and Toronto don't necessarily play a lot. Boston, not really a big fan of Mercado. Hotel Control getting eliminated makes sense based on Toronto's strength. So I think the map set in general Pretty straightforward to me.
Yeah, I mean, to get into the first map a little bit, honestly, Toronto got off to a really good start. They ended up chaining like a couple hills early. It was like the P2 and P3 that they were able to soak up a lot of time. P3, Boston was able to get some time and bring it back a bit. It was the P5 where Boston just worked a really big break here to find some time. You can kind of see how this rotation plays out. Nero's going to go down. The first one in there is going to be Hixie. You can kind of see how Toronto should have the upper hand here. Hixie goes a little rogue. He ends up dying. I think with like 5 seconds left here, I feel like Hixie, after he gets his kill, should probably just chill a little bit on rotation. He ends up trying to push out Laundry here, and he gets taken down. So that's going to open things up for Beans. And you see Vivid coming around the backside. They're going to break this. I felt like this was a rotation here where Toronto maybe should have held that a little bit better, like played a little bit just like tighter. But right there, you can see Boston. That was a big break on that roto. So they were able to lock down a lot of time here and pretty much get it back to a tie game going into the second set of rotations. And the second set of rotations, this is just where Boston just completely erupted. I mean, Ben, I'll let you. I see you shaking your head. I mean, what was it about Boston the second rotation that they just completely outplayed Toronto? Because they were untouchable in the second set.
I mean, I thought the subs were fine. I thought the contribution from especially Reese, Vivid, and Nero today was incredible. And on the second rotation, I mean, starting with this P1, they really turned the momentum on Toronto. We got our big start in this map.
Yeah, the P1 was big, and then even going over to the P2, Nero just with some big plays. You can see him on a mini map. Number 4, he's going to cut the map. He's going to find one pushing through low PD, pick up some scrap, and he just continues to fry out here. They spawn Toronto deep. When you have these spawns pushed out, when you have gas and back truck pushed out and you get kills, you can put people in a blender on this hill. Like this is a really easy hill to hold. If you can set this up every single time, you're golden. And Boston Breeds did a really good job of that. They ended up setting that up. They get a lot of time here, and then we go into the next hard point, and again, it's Nero. Check out the plays that he makes. Beans is going to go down here. Look at all those purple arrows at this next hill, and check out the plays from Nero. Again, Scrap, little rogue. He's going to run at him, gives him a free kill. Nero finds 2. Granted, it's traded, but now the whole setup from Toronto is completely chalked. Nero made the big play, so Toronto Ultra maybe doing a little bit too much running on rotations. Maybe need to calm down a little bit, work some kills. But what do you think, Pat, Ian? Any thoughts on the map number 1? Boston started rolling away with this one. Toronto just kept trolling rotos. And these subs, Ben, I agree with you. The subs are just going absolutely nuts, especially Nero. Nero went nuts on the last 2 rotos. But any thoughts on the map 1, guys?
I'm trying to think of all the teams that won an event and then came back in their first match online. Have they all lost it? Because I think FaZe did, right? They lost their first one when they came back as well.
I can tell you, I can go back and look. So I have to look at New York FaZe and Toronto this year. I'll tell you.
I'm just curious. I mean, it's obviously not an excuse, but it is something to think about. Like if they just, they're obviously they just won the last event. They come in, overestimate their opponents. I mean, they beat them at the event as well. So
we got a listen in here from Boston. These guys were absolutely twisted, by the way. So let's tune into that. Let's tune into the listening real quick.
Yeah, New York won their first match. Yeah.
I'm gonna drop top, guys. I'm jumping top.
Nothing back left. Yeah, back. That's one.
Nice one. Absolutely.
Nice.
I'm on top.
Yeah. Back to time.
Yeah. I'm just waiting.
Take your time.
I'm going back. Is anybody S1? He's dead. Bathroom. Yeah, that's him. Toby, I stunned him. He's in bathroom. I'm gonna skip him. I'm gonna squeak this. Sign on me. Weak front right. He's still front right corner.
They're in the back.
They're in the back. Yeah, it's looking for inside. In the back, dead. I'm in new weak Scrap. He's on the ramp. He threw a trophy on himself. That's in new Scrap.
Back alley.
Put that up, Ben.
In red. He's in Johnny.
I'm gonna shrink this.
Nice. Stay low.
Try go low. Oh my god!
Nice, Ben.
I'm blocking this last one.
Maybe a little while there.
Absolutely red. Very weak. He's laying down in between the tables. Nice, good shit.
And that's going to do it for the listening for the Boston Breeze. Man, they were turned. They were absolutely twisted.
Beans is twisted.
Yeah, Beans brings a lot of energy to the team, bro. Like I think they love playing with Beans. Yeah, he was doing really well today too. But the game got a little close. Toronto was able to bring it back a bit. But going into this P2 rotation, you can see how Toronto are going into the third set of hard points. Toronto get a clean wipe going into the P2. They have complete rotation here, but I love the plays here from Boston. They just streak. They get the info. They force people inside, force people into those L triggers, and Boston's just able to break the point and get those last final points that they finally needed. Yeah. Fantastic streak usage coming out of the Boston Breach. Nero, 32 and 33. Reese Vivid, that's my fantasy player right there. 36 and 23. I needed that, Ian. I needed that one. You know what I mean?
Boy, that boy was on one, baby.
Because Kleenex is my captain, so this was a rough series for me. I got two fantasy players going against each other. But any final thoughts on the map one? Pat, Ben, Ian, any final thoughts?
No, I thought for Boston, considering how yesterday went, this was a big series for them. Didn't want to start off 0-2, and they battled a bunch with Toronto this season. So I thought this was a good start for Boston and a good regain after the tough first couple of hills.
Yeah, and then we get into the next map, and we have a little bit of a comeback here. A 1-4. I think this was 5 straight rounds for Boston. Ultra started off really good. They got some comfortable rounds, 1v1 from Higsy. They were able to win a few rounds early. We get into this round. This is a 1-4 round, and this is where things get really interesting. Beans is able to find a snipe early on in this one. It was Big Wake who was able to find one on the pinch, and I just like the plays here from Beans here. You can kind of see how Boston, with 30 seconds left, after he gets this kill here with this pistol, instead of trying to get it down at this A side is so open. It's so hard to get it down sometimes. I feel like people can kill you from every direction, especially if you don't know where inside is. Inside, with some really nice shots onto Big Wake, he's able to make it a 1v1. But love the patience here from Beans. I don't know if Beans heard him or just predicted him. No, there's no way he heard him. But he had the pistol, so it's definitely a little bit sketchy here. This was a really big 1v1 for Beans as they're able to get another round on the board. They go up 2-4, and then we go into the next round. Little blind counter comes in from the Boston Breach. You can see Toronto. They try and go over towards that B side, and it's Reese Vivid finding that first blood, going to get aggressive. That's going to kind of slow Toronto down. That's going to force Toronto over back towards the A site. And Beans, he's all here by himself. He hears everybody behind him. He's probably giving the comms to his teammates. Scrappy's able to find one. It's a 2v3 situation, and check out the plays here from Beans. Higsy goes down for the plant. I don't even know how he saw him. He sees his toes or his heels sticking out. And great shots coming out of Beans as he's able to pick up the 2-piece, make it a 2v1 with 40 seconds. Boom, he goes down. Boston, they continue to win round after round. We go into the 3-4 round. This is more of like a default round. Boston, they just hit out A. They end up working some trades. It's a 3v3 situation. I like how they don't take any time here. Ben, I know you hate the do nothing strat, right? Like they actually do something here. They get Nero pushed up bedroom. They get Beans on that bomb. And we've seen a lot of people do this now. As long as you get control of these steps and those doors are closed left side, you could plant the bomb staying down from bedroom. Unless you could find some crazy angle like Beans did in that last round. But it's a good play from Boston. They get pushed up. Nero ends up hearing this guy coming under him bedroom. And I think Nero, he just ends up absolutely pooping on this guy coming out of bedroom. He hears him. Boom. Good round there. No time left on the clock. Toronto, they're going to fall 4-4. I mean, this was just absolute fucking clinical search and destroy coming out of the Boston Breach. I don't know how the hell they won 5 straight against the Toronto Ultra. Vivid, he's gonna hit bottom bed fine too. What do you think happened to Ultra on this map, gentlemen? They just collapsed or what?
Yeah,
they collapsed. Pat, this is your squad.
You don't lose 5 in a row by not collapsing.
They collapsed for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, still a GOATY team, right? Just won an event. But yeah, I mean, I think they just had one of those maps that's a complete blunder. I mean, we've seen it from a few teams, especially a few top teams. Some have been even worse. At least it was only, I think, 4 rounds in this one, or was it 5? Was it 5?
It was 5 straight rounds.
4-1.
It was 4-1, and they ended up losing 6-4. So.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that before, right? Maybe in a different circumstance. I've been on the side of doing that to teams, but yeah, I think it's just a collapse. As simple as that. Just chalk it up. They just had one of those.
I got a question for you, Pat.
What is it?
Don't worry, it's a serious question.
Oh,
do you think they got kind of like a champions hangover?
Well, that's what I was asking before, because I believe it's their first win, right? Not all of them, but some of them.
No, Insight and Kleenex have won, right?
Yeah,
and
it was Hixie and Scrap's first win.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I think there always is that, right? And we've talked about it too with like especially champ wins. Like when you win champs, it's hard to win like to be as dominant when you come back. It's just a in general thing. I think when teams win, like they don't always stay at that level. It's kind of like they climax a little and then they come back down.
Hey, yo.
That don't even look like Scrap in this picture. That doesn't even look like him in the bottom right.
Yeah.
That don't even look like Scrap, bro. In the bottom right, like his picture, his camera kept freezing. But that don't. Who the hell is that guy? That's Scrap. That don't look like Scrap, bro.
What they do to his neck?
Yo, where bro's shoulders at? Yeah.
I think you're overthinking it, Pat. First off, it's like the first game back, so like, and we know this parity in the league, so like anything can happen. I think ultimately these first two maps, the MSC Hardpoint wasn't like a great map for them going into that anyway. That was sort of a bonus map. And for this one, you know, I just think once again the sub aggression on Boston's really good, and Ben Beans is such a really good island player as an AR or sniper in hand on this map, and it's really hard when they counter adjust. I don't think Toronto then matched that to kind of get some rounds back once the momentum started rolling.
Yep. Any final thoughts on the map too? 12-7 from Vivid, another big map out of him. So this guy's locking in some points for me. 10-6 from Beans. Good job out of them. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we head into the LSC low control?
I'm gonna take the stance that Bell Fiber's ass, Tom.
No way. No way.
This wouldn't happen on land.
You think so, Pat? You think it's a sponsor? You think their sponsors letting them down?
Yeah, I think so.
No way, Pat. No way. And then we get into the next round. This is kind of where the Toronto Ultra start to kick up a little bit. They end up winning a big offense here on the LSC low control. They work A fast. They get that 8 point pretty quickly. I would have liked to see when Big Wake was pushed up here to maybe try and get some angles on this point. I think they knew that he was back there. They were looking for him. Kleenex ends up playing for him as well. Big Wake actually ends up winning a big 1v1 here, but he ends up getting traded out. But good heads up play to Toronto to just make sure they get that guy out of their spawn, because as soon as they get all those spawners out, they can kind of focus in front of them, and they do a good job. I feel like on this point with LSCLO, if you can get somebody pushed up on these stairs over here, kind of where Big Wake just was, kind of where Hixie is now, you can see everything. Like if you have an AR and you're standing on the stairs, you can see the alley. You can see to the right of Platt, right to the left of AC, like that little alley by the B bomb, and like green tarp. You can see like the back hills. You can see if they cross hut. Like you can literally calm everything. If you can get people pushed up on a stack there, and you could get somebody pushed up like on those stairs watching the cross, I feel like you're setting yourself up for success there. I feel like that's what most teams try to do now. But what do you guys think here? I thought Toronto played this pretty well. The stacks are here as well. Good plays from them to just get on that point and throw the trophies down. But any thoughts on the LSC low control, especially this point in particular? This was the offense that they took, and then they just went on to the next defense and won it. It was all defensive wins except for that
There's
one.
a reason Toronto's the best control team in the game, and they play their situationals well, and they maximize their ability to get time on offense, aka stacking, which we have a criticism of a lot of teams in the league.
Speaking of that, I mean, I don't know what you think about this play, but Reese Vivid towards the end of this one when they were on the B point, I'm curious to see what you guys think. Do you guys think that Reese should have stayed on the point here? So you can see here, he runs off the point as they're getting that second tick. They got a guy on there. I think I would have liked to see Reese just play on point here. Just stay to point. Keep on.
100%.
You think so, 100%. Ian? Think he should have stacked here?
I mean, I'm assuming that they know the timing, right? That like 3 of the Toronto players are coming off spawn with only 7 seconds left, and your team is spawning closer. Like, make whoever it was, Kleenex, make him look for you. You know what I mean? Make him have to chow. Because like you said, it's Awakening and Nero. Like Big Wake has an AR. He could get on those steps and just have complete cover.
Yeah. Exactly. If somebody, look at where they are. I mean, they're perfectly set up to do exactly what I was just talking about. Like if one of these guys, like if number 4 just floods, Nero, he's got a sub, he could just run up Keg Alley, flood the point, get on there. And you just have Big Wake on the stairs just looking over everybody. If anybody who pushes you is going to be tagged up one shot or dead. Like Wake is just going to see him coming. And also Ultra, because they have no time and because of how fast the point's going up, they don't have time to hit long routes mid or to go around. Like they have to flood over towards this BS and D side of the map. So I just felt like it was a little bit of a troll here maybe from Reese. Would have liked to see him stay in the point there. But they end up losing this offense. It was all defensive wins except for the one offense we saw. In Toronto, we're able to get a comfortable win here in the defense. They lose the 8 point, but they just spawn trap Boston. They keep them pinned back work some kills, and you kind of see the lives slowly dwindle down. It's 13-5. We'll take a look at the scoreboard in this one. 28 and 23 from Nero, but it wasn't enough. On the other side, Scrap had a good one. 24 and 21 with 3,400 damage. Good map from Hixie. Everybody pulling weight from Toronto. It was a good map. It was just that offense that I thought was the biggest difference maker. Any final thoughts on the map number 4 or map number 3 before we get into the map number 4? Any thoughts, gentlemen?
No.
Sounds good. Now we get into the Hydro Hardpoint. This was, again, off the rip, a little P3, P4 train, or chain from the Toronto Ultra. And kind of see how they set it up. They work a lot of kills here. We see this a lot, how teams will get here early on this P3. It is so easy to get kills and flip teams out here. And Ian, I know you're an LA Thieves guy. LA Thieves did a really good job with this when they played, and we'll take a look at it when we get there. But I like how they gave up the back here with like 30 seconds left to go. They play these kills and get this time. That way, any kills that they get here, boom, there's one. Scrap's gonna find one onto Big Wake. Trade comes in. And just like that, Boston, they're spawning out. That's going to allow Toronto Ultra to just kind of push right through the front. The spawns are going to flip, and they're actually able to chain, get the spawns for new and change some time here. So they go up early. We go into the second set of rotation. I think Toronto was up about plus 30, pretty much because of that P3 and that P4 right there. And then going into the second set, this is where things get interesting. Let's go into the listening with Toronto Ultra and see how the boys sound in this one, because they were able to push a map 5 here. So let's see how the boys sound.
I get into rinse. I don't want to get on this boys. I'm wrapping back to you, Charlie. I have the.
Bottom dome in the water now.
Okay, I'm on this side.
In the water.
Nice one, top there.
Yeah, 2 left. I got one. One left. Run.
I'm one shot.
Let's go, baby.
Nice grab, good shot.
Last guy, Ben. He's in the wall on the right, I think.
One shot, absolute.
I'm gonna keep it on this.
You're on the way. Yo, big 40. Yo, massive 40.
Rocky's dead.
Nice, good shit, Jimmy.
One more left. Get my cross, Jimmy. Can you get my cross? Don't worry about doing left. Don't worry about close health.
Absolute close. So weak.
Dead.
Nice. The one was Mackey's.
One Mackey's. One more Mackey's.
One more.
Weak.
Nice, let's
One guy, Mackey's.
He's going to bet you, Jimmy.
Dead.
Nice. One back.
Yeah, back.
One in new for sure, I think.
I've got up here.
Look, big wake.
He's off spawn, I'm pretty sure.
Took away though, still off wake. I think front scrap, about to leave this one. Here, try to make me spawn there. One's back, he's scrap. That's your shit.
Nice,
Back green, on the cages.
Nice.
One more, backstairs.
It's last guy, I think.
Staying up, Jimmy.
Which climb?
P5 and backstage, or backstairs.
Dead. Alright, just kept spawning.
Let's go top dead.
One back cages, behind.
Alright, Ben's back, Ben's back.
One's on me, like,
Spawn back as well.
Yeah, play your own kill, scrap. Spawn on UP2, by the way, play that kill, play the spawn kill.
One's back blue.
Got me too.
You know dead.
One's blue.
Yo, 2 P1.
Jamie, I didn't hit him on the rock wake. He's snaking that middle rock, yeah, he's snaking that middle rock on Jamie.
Dead, bro, one front. He's climbed the top. Oh shit, back P5.
Alright, one's window.
All right, that's going to do it for the listening. How did you guys think they sound? I thought they turned up during the listening. They extended their lead like crazy going into that second P2. Scrappy just went rogue. He went on a spree. It's complete.
I think they woke up. I think because, I mean, Tom, me, you, and Pat, sorry, Ben, we know when you win a championship, you know, you might get a little cocky. You may think every other team sucks. I think that is kind of what was going on first 2 maps. Just because if you look at this hard point compared to the first one, like you pointed out, right, when they flipped the spawns, they did such a good job of manipulating the spawns, of rotating, being on top of rotations. Like, and they're normally one of the most fundamentally sound teams, but maps 1 or the first hard point, they were rushing everything. They weren't really playing correctly. And it showed. I think they were kind of like, oh, damn, we're down the series. We have to win this game. We got to tee up. And that's exactly what they did.
Yep. No, it was a really good job out of Toronto Ultra. They end up running away with this one. Boston, they try to bring it back a little bit, but after a few big hills and a couple chains that you saw, this one was all over. We'll take a look at the scoreboard. Kleenex 26 and 22. He had a good map. Scrappy with another good map, 24 and 19. Pat, Ben, any final thoughts on a map 4? Thought Toronto played that one really well.
Well, I mean, after this map, I was like, uh-oh, because we know Boston struggles in game 5s this season. I know it's been a little bit better.
They haven't with Beans though.
With Beans, they've been solid.
They were
so it was like the momentum fell was like a Toronto side, but this is actually a very solid S&D out of Boston. We want to get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. We're tied up at 2 in the search. Listen, man, this is an embassy S&D. Both teams just kept hitting out this B site. I think even Bean said it in the interview. Like, there's not much to this map. You just dive across B and try and work the bomb plant. So a lot of it comes down to just individual playmaking ability when that bomb goes down. And I thought this was a big round from Nero, just making plays. Bomb's going to go down. He's going to stay alive orange and finesse his life a little bit. You could kind of see Reese Vivid, right? Like going all the way back right, like trying to get eyes on Bomb. He's going to put some shots into people in Nero. He's going to end up getting a 2-piece. And then I love the play here. He's going to throw the nade, force Kleenex to Chow. He's able to find 3 kills on the round. So fantastic plays coming out of Nero in that one. And then we go into the next round. This was another big round from Boston. They just shut down the 8 push from Toronto. Toronto tried to get across. Kleenex actually gets the first blood. Beans finds Scrap, but I think Kleenex ends up getting traded out here. Boom, 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 2v2. Beans does a good job just top AC. Every round looks the same in this map, man. You always got a guy top AC. You always got a guy roaming orange. You can see Beans just completely took over this round. He ends up getting an ace on this round. Big 2-piece to start things off. Picks up the trade back alley. Last guy is going to be Insight. And Beans, he's going to take care of him as well. He's tucked in a corner. Here's him coming. Bada bing, bada boom. Beans with the ace. Fantastic plays. And then we get into the 4-2 round. And again, it's Boston. Trophy down. Dive across. Once you get this bomb down, you're good to go. I've never seen somebody pre-fire the rush like that. Like, that was a really good play from Beans to just kind of pre-fire through the doors right there and get that first blood at the Kleenex. You can see Toronto try to blind counter it, but it wasn't enough. This was a really quick round. And Boston, they were able to go up fast, man. They ended up going up 5-2 pretty early. And it was Nero again who gets pushed up, finding a couple kills. I mean, they were just absolutely moving in the search. And then, granted, Toronto was able to win a couple more rounds. But ultimately, in the end, it was the Boston breach here in the 10th round where they were able to close this one out. And we'll take a look to see how they did it. I think if Scrappy were to get 2 kills here or pick up some kills here, Toronto would have pushed this to around 11. And I know we were watching this back, Ben, but what do you think, Ben? Maybe a little unlucky here from Scrap. He put some nice shots down into these guys, but just couldn't finish the kill. He had a stun in his hand. He probably should have used his stun here. Probably should have worked the stun here, maybe tried to do something.
The stun would have helped. I mean, I think, it's a pretty common play for a team like Boston to double pinch and double flank with bomb down and try and retake it. I do think that Scrap got unlucky and didn't kill Reese. I think the stun would have helped.
If he would have stunned it and shot the truck, would the truck have blown up?
Nah, probably not.
No, it wasn't weak.
But I was thinking maybe to shoot his feet weak here.
I couldn't tell.
He had Reese so tagged up that I feel like he should have just shot his toes here. Like, I don't know. I thought Scrappy was going to lay down here. We were all saying it. Like, right there. He tags him up. Like, you could see his feet sticking out, and you could tell he was thinking about it, like trying to find like his feet there.
I kind of felt he should have just pushed. Like he backed off the other guy.
They were so weak. They were both so one shot.
I'll tell you what also didn't help this round. Look what happens to Kleenex, bro. Like, so Kleenex on his retake, push up on him orange, tries to get a kill back alley, but he's actually on the AC, and then he gets poor time from 2 guys middle. So I mean, I think Toronto just got mega unlucky a little bit in this round because either one of those kills, either killing a guy middle or killing the guy pinching. They probably win this because Jamie's upstairs and he has bomb peak.
Yeah, and then even Jamie, I thought he was going to be able to make a play from up there, but he just gets sniped. It's a good heads up play out of Beans. He had a really good map. Beans went crazy, but Boston, they end up retaking the bomb. You can see Scrappy, maybe if he was able to get some kills there, maybe be able to push around 11, but good retake out of them. 10-5 from Beans to end this one. He played great today as well. Beans has been really good for these guys. I think this Boston team's a scary sight. Any final thoughts on the series or for Boston or for Toronto? Any thoughts? I mean, Pat, let's start with you. Any thoughts on Boston Breach as a whole, Toronto as a whole? I think Boston's been playing pretty good, Pat.
They have, Tom, but the thing is, again, this is another one of those series where we got like production out of both their subs, like insane production. They both were the best 2 on their team today against a team who has a really good sub duo. We don't always see that from this Boston team. Sometimes they're kind of inconsistent with who fries and who gets shit on. But yeah, I mean, look, Boston's always been good online. There's never been a doubt about that. And we're back in their environment. For me, I still want to see them do more on LAN.
They just got top 4, Pat.
Yeah, but we talked about how their top 4 went. They beat Optic, where the Optic looked so fucking terrible that first day, and then beat a basically a broken Vegas team. So I still want to see more from this Boston squad. I mean, I don't think they're bad by any means. I agree where we have them in the tier list in B. But yeah, I mean, look, we just saw both their subs fry today, and we don't always get that from them.
I mean, I think, Pat, I get your feeling about the last major for Boston. I think that's a fair point to bring up. I think for Boston, this was a pretty productive weekend. I know they would have liked to have gone 2-0, but I think the big win and big takeaway for me with Boston after the last split was that Reese Vivid was not playing particularly well. I thought that he had a really good weekend in general. There's certain things that needed to clean up with their game. I think they probably should have done a better job closing this one out, not letting it get to a game 5 and almost last round. But for Boston, their schedule upcoming. They've got matches against London Optic and New York, so they're still. I mean, bro, they're still gonna make winners bracket, and we'll see if maybe this is the major where they make it work.
Yeah,
they're not really weak in any game mode. Like I think they're well rounded. It's just about actually putting together on a weekend. I mean,
that's the thing, Ben. I was gonna say I think Beans is the biggest thing, Tom, for the team. I mean, nothing against Zin, but Beans has to be like one of the best S&D players in the league right now. Which is huge for them because they obviously have the talent to win respawns. So I thought it was a big bounce back for them after losing to Vegas. On the side of Toronto, though, if I'm Pat, I'm worried. I'm hoping it's.
You're worried.
So hear me out. I'm hoping it's just like day-to-day COD, right? Like this anything can happen in this game. Because if it is like that champion hangover where you kind of get back into the groove, but it's like you're not going as hard. I know I watched in the Toronto documentary, they said like that was their biggest thing. They want to stay on top, stay ahead. But we have to see if they actually do it, because if they fall behind, they can fall behind very quickly. We've seen it happen. It's happened to multiple teams in the past. And so it would suck. Pat would be pissed for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's Pat's world champs,
Yeah, bro,
maybe they peaked too early, Pat. I don't know.
We're at champs and they're holding up the trophy on stage.
They peaked a little too early.
Ian, all I'll say is, their schedule, the remaining portion of this is they've got Seattle, FaZe, Florida, and Vegas. So I think they're fine, bro.
I mean, they lost to Boston, who lost to Vegas. So that's what I'm saying.
Bro, but like we've talked about how like this league right now, where like the top 7 and 9 teams are, like especially when it comes to online sound EQ Call of Duty, like anyone can be anyone. A lot of given days.
I'm not cheese.
I'm not saying I'm saying it's the first match back for Toronto. I'm not taking any crazy overreaction away from this team. I think they're still good. I want to see, they've got some interesting matches to split, but I think they're decent.
I saw some mixed answers about the EQ stuff. Are teams playing with it or not?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's not on.
Everybody is playing it. Yeah.
Kids said that they weren't. That's why I'm a little confused. I don't know if any CL players in the chat right now, but can you confirm whether teams are or are not playing with EQ online?
I mean, we could maybe ask around. Where did Kismet say that he wasn't? Was it on Twitter?
He said it in the chat. He said it in the chat.
Oh, he said it in the chat?
He said teams aren't using EQ.
I thought everybody had it on, but or did they finally come to their senses and they all talked and nobody's using it? Unless
that's another thing. Wait, did they use EQ at the land-in today in Minnesota?
Oh.
So I asked around I asked Minnesota and I asked LAG and they both said they were. So I don't have an answer to this one yet. Yeah.
Really? Why would they use it online? That doesn't make any sense.
Because everybody's hustling here for 10 points.
Yo, they're really trying to get those 10, bro.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you would think because they're in person, like playing on LAN, because I know on LAN for the CDL they turn it off for everybody, right? Like it's automatically turned off. Like you can't turn it back on.
Minnesota had it on, but the other teams couldn't put it on. That's what I heard.
Nah, that's crazy.
That's what I heard.
That's crazy. But listen, let's hop into the next one. We got the Minnesota Rokkr in their second series of the day going up against the Los Angeles Guerrillas. We got a Fortress Hardpoint, LSCLO S&D, LSCLO Control, Mercado Hardpoint, and Fortress Search and Destroy. Any thoughts on the vetoes, Ben? Any thoughts at all?
I mean, LAG's map pool is really tragic these days. No, I don't. I think this is actually ended up working out to be a somewhat not bad map set for both teams. I was super worried about LG coming in this series because they all been tweeting some kind of didn't want to be here type tweets about going to Wisconsin, and then I was definitely worried because Rokkr won the earlier series, and I feel like this all momentum would have been on their side. But man, we gotta tip Joe Deceives in this series, especially this map. Unbelievable, bro. This guy was doing some LeBron stuff on this map.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about in this map other than Joe Deceives.
It was his best map of his pro career so far, for sure.
I mean, he was all over the map. He was just hitting timings. You could tell he was feeling himself a little bit, but he was just picking up guns. He was roaming top art. I mean, he was just, I forgot what he ended off, but he's 20-5 right now, halfway through this game, and they were just absolutely piss slamming on these guys. So great plays out of Joe Deceives. I mean, I've been waiting for something like this from Joe. Joe's always been Joe. A lot of people were talking Joe up, man, but especially right before he got picked up. Like, this is a player that there was a lot of eyes on this guy. And I know when he got picked up, there's a little confusion, but I know some of the FaZe boys play with Joe, and I've seen some or I've heard some good things about him. It's cool to see him coming out and making a statement like this and showing what he can do and showing his potential a little bit. But what do you think, Pat? Joe Deceives, did he impress you today, Pat? I know you're a hard man to impress. He's 22-6 right now. He's all over the map, Pat.
He did, Tom, but the thing I hate about this LAG team is I feel like they're just checked.
You think so? They don't care, I think.
Like, it's just a losing fight. No matter what happens, like...
I mean, how could you not be checked?
Their org is gone. Bro, I'm not going to name names, but I was messaging one of the players, and like, apparently none of them wanted to go to this. Like, their management agreed for them to go to this, and then the management's not even involved anymore. So I don't know. I think this was just this whole team is checked, and for Joe Deceives, I think he's one person who can't be checked the most on this team because it's still his rookie. His rookie season is he's still got a lot to prove, and he obviously wants to have a career going forward. Because obviously we all know what's probably going to happen with LAG at the end of the season. But yeah, I mean it's always tough just to talk about their matches because of their situation.
Yeah, big heads up. Oh, go ahead, Ben. There's a play here.
I was gonna say, I don't feel good about their qualifying for champ chances, and I feel Pat. The external factors are really unfortunate with this team right now.
Yeah, they all know it's done.
No, and I thought this was a big play from Adam Assault. He gets pushed up on his second P3 early. I mean, look how early Adam's making that rotation. You see him there now, number 5 on a mini map. There's 30 seconds on the clock. He ends up getting here really, really quickly, and I don't even think the Minnesota Rokkr even knew he was here. I think they were looking around for him, but just a great heads-up play from Adam Assault. He's going to get to this P3 early. He's going to flip those spawns in LAG. Because of that heads-up play from Adam Assault, check out that lead from LAG just continue to rise. And that all comes... I mean, these little plays like this, like a little play like this by Adam Assault, like how many players do you see get this spawn with 35 seconds left in his hard point and they just run forward? Like they hit this. Like they'll legit hit open or hit closed here and just hit this old hill. Like how many players do you see do this? And then Adam Assault makes a big heads-up play to just back up, turn around, even his teammates to hit, and he spawned after him. So just really good plays from Adam Assault. I think that was really, really big rotational gunfights here. When he gets a 2-piece, they expand their lead. And then LAG, after that full 60, they're right there to get in this W. And they were able to break on in and close this one out. So great plays from Adam Assault. Good plays from LAG. We'll take a look at the final scoreboard. Everybody from Minnesota Rokkr is negative except for Fame, who's sitting 23-23 at even. Joe Deceives 38-15 with 3,500 damage. I mean, that is typical. Gotta show love to Joe Deceives. He went absolutely crazy. Any final thoughts at a map 1? Any final thoughts? Ian, Ben, Pat?
No.
Pat? I mean, LAG looked good. They looked good in this map.
It didn't last very long. But that was where they did look good. That map number 1. And then this is where things just kind of collapse. It was honestly Minnesota Rokkr. They clutched up in this one. This one was pretty back and forth early on. It was Joe Deceives again who was starting off things hot in this one. Big plays coming out of him going into this 4th round. Kind of see Bance. He's going to get that first blood. But Joe's going to find one. He's going to jump down, find 2. Almost finds the 3rd there till his teammate Assault is able to help him get that trade. But just a good plan counter here. Ben, I know we were talking about this a little bit, and we'll get there to the end of this map, but so many teams, they just rush plan A over and over again, and teams on the defensive side just always chalk it and try and play retakes on this map. There were some blind counters coming in from the Minnesota Rokkr to kind of stop that towards the end half of this game. And why do you think that is, Ben? Why do you think people just chalk up A like that and just play retakes? You think it's an easy bomb to retake?
I think we get first defense. It's hard to hold that site because you can just get stunned, right? You don't got a trophy in there. So I feel on that. But I don't know why after that. I see a lot of teams try and play retakes and, you can get some success on them. But I'm actually going to look up what the retake or what the bomb down win percentage is on this map because I'm actually very curious. If you stick with me real quick. So bomb down win percentage right now is 64%. So I feel like denying bomb plants would be more of a priority on defense. So I agree with you.
I always feel like denying bomb plants is the way to go. I feel like playing a retake is always tough. But we get into the 1-3 round. This is a really good play from Fame. Just a good read, honestly. I didn't think this was readable. RC's pops to Deddy. He goes court and wraps all the way around steps. And Fame just reads him. He ends up taking him down. Big 1v1 play. Just good heads-up play from Fame himself. And then we get into the next round. Benjamin Bance makes a play in this one. He's able to push up through court here. and he ends up getting behind the enemy team. His dead silence runs out, so he ends up slowing it down a little bit. But love the plays here for Minnesota. They're able to find gaps on a map, and they're not afraid to take it. They push through. Bance finds one. Gonna jump the corner. Finds another one onto Joe Deceives. And instead of planting the bomb A and panicking, he ends up rotating this bomb over back to B. They actually catch RCD slipping here. I don't think Alec expected him to just take the bomb to B. Yeah, I don't think they expected that there. Good plays coming out of the Minnesota Rokkr camp right there. Thought that was good heads-up play at a band to get that 2-piece, and instead of just like planning A, take that bomb to B and catch RCD slipping. They tie it up at 3. And then we go back to the rush plans. LAG, they run straight to the A bomb. They rush plan A. Then we get to the next round. Rokkr, they rush plant. They end up, they spread the map a little bit at first, but once they get the kill over towards B, the trades come in. They end up opening up that A site. They get the bomb down, play a post plant, tied up at 4, and this is where things get interesting. This is the mid-round push that I just really like from Minnesota. It's little things like this that teams do that they adapt midway through that lets you win series like this. Non-stop 8 plans going down throughout the whole map. We're in around 9. Afro, he's going to get pushed up here under catwalk. A good little creddy spot. He's going to have Bance looking over him. And this is where Afro, he's sounding whores a little bit. He's going to hear some players jumping to his right. And then just good plays out of him to find that blood. And he gets out, plays his life. Bance is going to watch over him. They just blind counter that A push. And I just want to see teams do this more. I think if teams can find ways to just blind counter that a little bit more, they'll win defenses a lot more. Instead of just constantly giving up the site and trying to retake. And then even on the last one, Joe Deceives, Ben, I know you were talking about his spot a little bit, but he was kind of watching the cross here. It's a good little angle. I've seen this spot before where you could see people crossing into the bomb site. It's not a spot really where you're looking to get a kill. This is more a spot just looking to get that information and knowing when to push and when to throw your tags. Because if you save your tags here and you see them cross in, you can retake it that way. You know, and yeah. I like how when Joe sees him cross, he pops the deadie right away and doesn't hesitate. This ended up not working for them, but I thought it was a good heads-up play from Joe because he gets active. He's able to find one, but his teammates die around him. He ends up snapping on his teammate, and Afro with a couple big kills on bomb. Last one's going to be assault cam. He challenged his corner, and he's going to go down. So, again, Minnesota Rokkr rush that A-bomb, work some trades, and they're able to close the map. They end up tying up the series up at 1. 10-6 from Cammy, 12-8 from Joe Deceives. Cammy, again, stepping up to the plate. Any final thoughts on the map 2, gentlemen?
I got him in fantasy, Tom.
Yeah, you got Cammy. I saw that you picked Cammy in your fantasy. Is there a reason why you picked Cammy?
Gotta be trash.
I feel like
team gotta be trash.
I think I'm gonna be number 1 after this weekend. I feel like Cammy's just been so bad all year. That's like, bro, he's due for a turnaround. Like, and when I say bad, I meant like bad to his standards, right? Like he, you know, in the past, especially on that Toronto team, like he's had moments where he's just looked absolutely dominant. So, yeah, I just felt like he had to have a bounce back major, regardless of how this Rokkr team does. I'm expecting Cammy to have a good major or stage.
Yeah, no. And as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, I mean, he had a good day today. Played well today. And then we get into to the last to the third map, to control. This one goes into an overtime, super back and forth. It was all defensive wins up until this point, up until the overtime. Joe Deceives, again, all over the map, 37-29, switching lanes. You're probably thinking, LAG, they got this in a bag. But I love the heads-up play. I love the heads-up play here from Minnesota. Look what they do here. They're on this B point. The streak comes in. They chalk up the B point, dip into bottom middle, and play A here. They kind of keep LAG on their toes a little bit. What do you think about that play? I mean, Ben, some ankle breaks, maybe, you know, kind of confusing maybe the defensive team. They're not really too sure where the hell they're at or where they're going. I just thought it was a good heads-up play from Minnesota Rokkr. Thought it was good teamwork there to all collapse in the A point. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think they make really, you know, Rokkr were undefeated on this map, obviously. We can make SC jokes aside. I think it's on the back of really good team decision making they make on this map. So I assume they knew about the streak and all that. Like, I think that was just a really good heads up play from Rokkr to sort of guarantee ticks elsewhere, knowing that they got to kind of play time and lives and kind of try to extend their ability to win the map.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it a little bit. Go ahead, Ian.
Oh, so do you know what the success rate is for the streaks? Because
yeah, it's very small. It's very small.
But I swear, I know this is like, you can't pin it on Joe Deceives. He was great. I don't think he should have called the streak in, because not only, like, you got to expect the other team to have a trophy, so it's going to hit something unless you can bounce it off. And then if you look at it, he was the guy that was pushed up white. So he gave Minnesota the closer A spawn.
Yeah.
Like the ones who spawned up. And then he was stuck in his streak. Yeah. So then by the time they got there, they like didn't know what to do. And they just let them cap A, which I think was a mistake as well. With what, 12 seconds left?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think it's not really on him. The streaks suck in this game, but I think they would have won this round if he just didn't call it.
Yeah, I agree, and I definitely agree. I feel like right here, I think with 12 seconds left, and Joe had deceased, they just got 2 kills as well. You know they're coming off spawn. I feel like the best thing you could do there, flank it. Like you're pushed up in the spawn. The last thing you want to do when you have them pinned back is call a streak, because that takes you out of the game. As soon as you call it a streak, you're not on the map anymore. You're just sitting on a computer. You're calling a streak. And then granted, the streaks just never work anyway. It's very hard to get kills. The trophy's on the point.
17%.
17%. Yeah.
17%.
There's no point in calling that shit ever.
Yeah, no, that was definitely interesting there from Joe DeCease. I mean, he was having a great match or a great map. He was on a 6 spree, but you could kind of see how Minnesota was able to get that extra time. And then after that happens, I mean, Minnesota just have about a minute to work some kills and get 1 tick. And it was big once they got assault out of their spawn. This is where things kind of got hectic, man. Everybody goes down. They know they had those timings. They only need 1 tick. They stack the point, and nobody from LAG can get there. So Minnesota Rokkr, they end up going up 2-1 in the series, and they're talking some smack too, man. They're talking a little smack. I know the LAG boys, they had won the first map, and they started chirping them at their own event here. But it's always good to see some chirps, man. We'll take a look at the scoreboard.
You for in it, bro.
33
that's what Ben was saying. I can read lips. That's what Ben was saying.
Yeah, what's wrong with you, bro?
33-28 from Fame.
Boy, you suck me, bro.
32-26 from Afro. What's the matter, Pat? Why are you saying Jesus? What is something catching your eye here?
Yeah, the nub over here just making these impersonations, bro. I just can't handle it. But
people want me to rewind it and show the Fame clip here in the S&D. Did you guys see this? Fame went absolutely fucking blind here, bro.
Yeah, that's wild. I don't know how. I mean, I know that Joe DeCease got kind of blocked by his gun model, but if you want to show it to him, I don't know how.
His gun was not blocking him, Ben. He was right there.
When he was lower in the stairs, if you back up when he was lower in the stairs, I think, and they showed a replay of it, he was blocked. But at this point, bro, like, because he was there for a couple of seconds, so I'm like, this wasn't just like instant. I just don't know how he saw him.
Hey, to be fair though, this is his first his like first official day on Minnesota. They're playing LAG. The outfits are, you know what I mean? It's not like they're playing like an optic.
He thought it was a teammate. He thought it was a teammate.
It's close. Yeah, it's close. So
he's probably thinking, I would have
dropped him on the spot.
25 seconds into a round, he's probably like, there's no what, like, he doesn't even expect an enemy to be on those stairs. In his brain, mentally, he thought it was a teammate. At least that's what I think is what happened here. But yeah, Ben, you're fucking faded. He could see the bottom of the steps, Ben.
Bro, if you go back and watch his show replay, when he was creeping up the stairs, he was blocked by the gun model. You can go find the replay.
Once he hits the corner of the steps right here, he's seen. Once he's hit the corner of the steps, he's seen here, because you could tell. Boom. Once you pause it here, I mean, you can see the bottom of the steps.
Literally, if you want to argue this, go forward. They show a replay.
Where, after this round?
Yeah, keep going.
Fight.
All right, let's check it out.
The lens slander is like ridiculous.
Let's check it out, Ben. Let's check it out, bro. Let's take a look at the highlight here. Maybe Ben's right. Maybe he's right here, Jack. Let's take a look here. All I know is this guy was in the middle, right in the middle of the staircase, bro. Boom. I mean, somewhat. He still saw him, Ben. He still saw him. You know what I mean?
He saw him, and then he was blocked. So,
look, he was probably so locked in, looking down his iron. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
He was locked in.
So apparently, he explained on Twitter. Let me find. We were saying that he explained on Twitter what went down.
Fucking smoke was in my eyes, mate.
He saw him the whole way. He saw him go every step.
He said he responded to someone. He said he responded to someone on Twitter. He said, misheard a comm, so I thought that was my teammate.
Yeah, nah, that makes sense. I'm pretty sure that's happened to me before. So
I don't know if I'm buying that, but
nah, I feel like that's like the what makes sense the most is that he thought it was a teammate. But then we get into the fourth map. We get into a Mercado hardpoint. And listen, bro, this was just a map where LAG couldn't hold a damn hill. First of them being the P3 hardpoint. LAG, they get here first. And I love the way Minnesota breaks this, actually. They all show backdoor, but they cut front door here once they get kills. Once they get kills, they all hit through front, and you can kind of see how that just catches them off guard. They trade the guy up front. Last guy's going to be up top, and they're able to take down Exceed as well. I think Exceed needs to try and stay alive there too. Just stay up top, wait for your teammates instead of jumping down and playing a kill. Once your teammates die around you, the best thing you could do is probably stay alive and try and do something. But I thought that was a really clinical break there from Minnesota. I like how they all worked around the back there together. And then when they got the kills, instead of just jumping in and dying, which you'll see a lot of teams do, they stay patient and they do something together. They rotate back through front and work some trades. So they break the P3. And then we get to the P4. Check out LAG. They're not picking up the damn pinch. Somebody from LAG's got to pick up this pinch, bro. Somebody. I mean, this is just something that can't happen. Afro's going to pinch.
Assembly line.
He finds the assembly line. I mean, last guy off spawn. I mean, Ian, we used to talk about this back in the day, Ian. We used to talk about this. Last guy off spawn. Last guy in line. Turn around, bro.
What are we watching?
Go ahead, Ben. What were you going to say?
I was saying, did he run by anybody middle? Oh, man. He got weird. Oh, dude. Number 7, him and Alec got weird-ass fucking timing. I mean, I agree. You should always just try to assume that someone's going to pinch off old, but I mean, Alec timing.
What are you talking about?
Go back. He ran by him sidewall. Go back.
Sidewall.
Yeah, look at number 7.
Oh, like you're looking at old. Oh, you're looking at old. Oh, I mean, bro. I mean,
you just read the mini map.
Yeah,
while you watch what your teammates are watching.
Forget what happened across. Forget what happened across the map. I'm talking about what's going on at the next hill.
I understand. I'm pointing out that like Alec didn't call him out. Like they didn't know where he was on the map. I feel you. You should check the pinch. He did get weird timing though. That's what I was marking on.
Yeah, but in my opinion, somebody's got to turn around and watch this. Just stay green, like stay alive green, and you know somebody's gonna be pinching. You know somebody's gonna be pinching off old and trying to get green control. I just think somebody needs to be looking at that. Last person off spawn should definitely be holding that pinch there at Minnesota. That's another break. That's 2 hills in a row that they broke now because LAG had their pants down. And then we get into the P5. Same exact thing. LAG, they're there early. We'll take a look at this setup and see what the hell happened here. Another streak comes down from Afro. He's able to... it was Bance who finds 1. Where did that person die? So you see Bance, he's number 1. He's going to be pushing around the right. And then number 6 just gets caught with his pants down. Too much movement on rotation. Exceed needs to play a corner there. He's moving around too much. He's gonna fall on the pinch, and then the swarm comes in.
Was he outside the big door?
He was inside, but ran outside. When the streak comes down, he ran out.
Yeah, nice.
He trolled there.
You gotta hold an iron.
Yeah, hold an iron.
What was that?
People move around so much on rotation. I don't know why. Like they just move.
Why would you move outside when
during a streak? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that didn't make any sense. Like the streak is coming down, stay inside and throw shimmies in the back. Like, you don't even need to chow anything. I was saying this yesterday. Don't chow anything. Just throw shimmies. Like play for info. Like if you throw a shimmy and you see like 1 or 2 guys hitting it, you could call it out to your team. Have somebody like rotate over, help you out. Like there's just no teamwork here. No teamwork at all. Minnesota, they get another clean break. That is 3 hard points in a row that they got broken on. 3. So Minnesota just taking advantage. And then we go into the P7. And again, going into his parking lot hill, it was Afro who makes the heads up play. So you can see Minnesota, they get there early. But take a look at that mini map. Number 2, love the play here from Afro. He's going to go all the way around. Number 5, who was it? Adam Assault. What did he go blind right there? He didn't see Afro pushing through L-wall. But I like the pinch here.
That's your boy, Pat. Ain't that your boy?
That's your boy, Pat. He went blind, bro. He went blind. Look at him. He didn't see him there like L-wall. He didn't see him somehow. But really good pinch. Again, from LAG, like, you know that you're missing one guy. This pinch is a little bit harder to read, I feel like. This was just a really good heads-up play out of Afro. He ends up getting a big 2-piece, re-pinching it off that P5 spawn, and he just makes the play. 2 dead. They funnel all of LAG garage side, and this is kind of the blender now. I mean, this is what, 4 hills now? 4 hills in a row, where Minnesota just completely put these guys in a blender. We could go into the listening, but this is pretty much where they win it. Let's go to the listening, see how they sound, and we'll call it. We'll go to the next series.
Last guy. I'm going to get on. Y'all this time. Let's play through. Come back, Ali. I'm jiggling you back. Nice. Maybe. Right by there. Keep it in the back, Ali. Listen. Dead. Nice. Open house back. I'm looking mid. Nice. This up, boys. Yeah, I'm going to challenge mid. Yeah, I'll get your team with you. Let me see. I'm much mid. You push my gate, Ben. You pinch. One's on new. Pinch it. No, I'm spawning. Okay, yeah. You can play mid, Ben. Play mid, Ben, okay? Yeah. Back one time. One sec, right now. Okay, yeah. You see, he's tunnel side time. I'm nading him, Ben, okay? I naded the guy tunnel side time. He's 1 shot. Yo, Kev, actually, I'll get P4 sent back.
One's top cactus, I think.
Let's get cactus.
And that's gonna do it for the listening. Kind of like a victory lap for the new Minnesota Rokkr, as they end up going up 2-0 today. They win 2 maps in a row. What's up, Ian? What's funny? What you giggling about over there, bro?
No, this is the victory lap.
The victory lap,
I think,
bro.
though,
It's a victory listening.
I think the biggest saying, which sucks, is this is just the two teams. One team has everything to fight for. Minnesota, who's in the hunt still. Yeah. LAG has nothing to fight for. Like, they're not going to make champs. Their org blew up. They might not even have an org next season. I think maybe besides our cities, and he might even be there too, they're all playing for a spot next year. So they're just like, I think no matter what, they're not actually trying to win. They're just trying to play the best they can individually, because it's chalk. This year's over for them already. Even though it's been like unfortunate situation with the whole guard thing, you just hate to see it. Yeah, because they're just not really trying.
Dude, like they could still win events. I don't know if I entirely agree with that.
Wait,
brother. There's still two events left. Oh, you're saying the season's over, bro? There's 2 events left.
Hold on, let me make sure we're on the same page.
Give me a break,
son. I think us 4 could beat them.
Wait. You think this LAG squad can win events, Ben?
Brother, you're saying the season's over. They still have 2 events to fucking win. It's not like the season's over tomorrow.
And they're the worst team in the league. They can't win
so
shit
fucking get good and try and get a good fucking placing. Make some money. Do something for your fucking career.
Bro, they suck.
What the fuck am I hearing right now?
They have to make a roster change.
It's unbelievable. I'm hearing it from fucking competitors. I'm the one that's not a fucking pro.
This team needs a roster change, and they can't make a roster change.
I mean, but so they got to try and work through it and fucking dig deep. And they won.
Wait, how many points are they down?
Hard points.
Wait, how many points are they down from top 8?
It's only like 40 or 50. It's really, it can be done with one good fucking stage. Like, bro, like what I'm hearing right now, I don't like. Yeah, like they're likely not going to make champs. You're not wrong, but the season's not fucking over. There's 2 more events.
All I'm saying, Ben, is look,
unbelievable what I'm hearing.
Wait, they're 80 points behind. What are you saying?
Okay, so look,
80 points after today because fucking Rokkr got 20.
Yeah,
they're basically out.
We're saying they're chalked.
What I meant is, you just think about it. If you were a competitor, okay, obviously this is their livelihood. Their org is gone. They're like so. Yes, you want to win, obviously, as a competitor. But do you think that they're valuing them getting a spot in the league again next year to continue to make money, to make a living? That's definitely more important.
Wait, they're also only 80 points behind if every team just loses every match going forward. That's impossible.
Yeah, they can't make it, bro.
They're out.
Ian, I get where you're saying that they're definitely playing for their careers, but bro, like even with all the external factor, like all I see out of this LAG camp is a lot of complaining, and I get it. There's external issues, but bro, like, at the end of the day, there are still 2 events they can pull up and win. And regardless of whether or not they're going to make champs or not, it's going to be great for their careers. They figure out how to actually get a good placing in these events.
What do you mean they can show up and win? I don't understand. Am I watching the same team as you?
No, I'm going to be honest. All I do is I go on Twitter every day, and people on this team just bitching about and like focus on trying to get better.
Yeah, you're right. They do.
Bro, like, I'm really tired of checking this timeline every day, bro. I'm tired of seeing on the timeline.
Well, let's move on. Let's move on to the next series. We got the Los Angeles Thieves going up against the Seattle Surge. We got a Hydro Hardpoint. We got an M-Bussy S&D. We got an LSCO Control and Bussy Hardpoint and Fortress Surge. Listen, it came from Ian's camp, bro. It literally came. Bro, it came from Ian's camp, bro. It's not my fault.
That's not my camp. I don't know whose camp that is.
Octane put me on, bro.
That's some freak boy camp over here. I don't know.
Bang, kick things off. You hated the vetoes. Why didn't you like the vetoes in this one?
I don't know if I hated the vetoes.
You hated it. You hated it.
It's just weird. It's weird how the S&D video played out because Mercado is a map that's not a veto for Thieves, and Seattle banned it. And we saw the actual veto, so unless they were written down incorrectly. And then Thieves banned one of their better maps. So like those 2 maps, I think we're gonna get out anyway. Just the teams that vetoed it ended up not being the ones that I expected.
I gotta know why they did that.
Odd. I would love to know too, because I'm surprised that Thieves would get rid of Hotel S&E.
Well, the LAT boys freaky though, so I'm not asking.
Well, they got the dub today, so it worked out.
They got the dub today for sure. They did look good, Ian. I mean, this is your team, Ian. I mean, what impressed you by your team today, man?
Honestly,
besides for Envoy, because this guy was different today.
Realistically, I just think they all have been playing better individually. Like even when they weren't doing well, everyone knows that they have some of the best talent in the league. But when they're not doing well, they're just like not really focusing on their own gameplay. I think they're worried too much about the overall team aspect. And maybe they play a little bit like too selflessly. I feel like today you saw a lot of players, Envoy being the main one, but Kenny and Draws, making like selfish individual plays that turn into pieces that really just get the rhythm flowing for them individually.
Yeah.
And I think it showed. Like they looked like they were winning majority of the 1v1s today, which when they lose, they're just getting bodied.
Yeah.
They're just losing every single gunfight.
Well, just talk about the map a little bit. Didn't like that spot for Lamar. I think if Lamar is going to get out there, he should have been a little bit more active there, but he ends up getting pinned down by Octane there in the back. Octane gets that back spawn. Octane with the little credit corner here. I like that little credit corner. They couldn't find him here. He just gets tucked here, and he ends up getting a freebie here with this guy jumping out at him. But this is where LATs really start to take the game away. I think it starts with their listening. Yeah, here it is. Their listening comes in. They go into a second P2 rotation. We're basically tied. Let's tune into the LATs boys, followed by the Seattle boys, because it was going pretty back and forth. So let's tune into both listenings.
I'll be back. Okay, got some. That's fine. Go. No, wait. Close right still. This works. This works. Go. You can hit absolute. In ruins last. I mean, one is ruins though. I'm back. I have one cross. Yeah, short. I'm one shot. I'm back. On the three. This is huge time, guys. Bridge heady. Alright, back. Nothing front. Multiple front. I'm going to soak this time. I'm going L. One's soak this time. I'm going down. Give me info. Top window. One's hut. City got top window. Yeah. Nice. The rest I'm still here. Three guys. I'm one out. Lamar spawned out. Missing Fred in the back. I'm coming up here. I ain't get time. I'm playing the box. I'm blocking.
All right, so you can see the energy really coming out from LATs. I mean, they get a full 60 on a P2, and they do a good job when they're getting kills in the last like 10-15 seconds to just push, like open up those spawns. Like you'll see teams so many times they'll just stay alive in the back and they keep those spawns blocked when they don't need to be back there anymore. Like that's a spot where you want to be early on when the hill's first rotating, but you want to spawn teams there when it's rotating to the next hard point. That's exactly what these did. So good heads up play there. And then Seattle started kicking up when they went to the Seattle listening. Let's tune into the Seattle surge and see how they sound.
Front door dead. I'm staying out. Back time. One dead. That's it. Jen dead. Okay, let's hold this short. Come on. Back left on the stairs. He's me. Come on. I'll get on in a second. Close left. I heard you. He's right here. I nailed him. I got him. That was him. I see him. Two left. One there. He's absolute back left. I'm trying to hold blow. Dead. I'll come help you downstairs. One. Yeah. Out of right is on time. I see anything in beach, bro. Okay. I'm playing low left, okay? That's fine. I'll play out here. Tool. I'm gonna spawn out. Yep. I'll spawn out. Yeah. There's nothing low left downstairs. I have low left. Once it's that close, I think. I spawned here. I have left. I'll get time. Okay. He's in close. Outer dead. I got him. I only have the low and outer. One cross P2. Look to the back. Okay. I have the back. Get to the back. I'm open right now. I have my P2 door. You look to the back. He's in back P2. I'm on it. One in the water. Globe or some shit. Wait. P2 bench is dead. Globe. P2. I'm holding your front. One's open. Open. P2 door dead. Nice. I'm trying to flank open. I have your outer Mac. I have your outer. P2 door again dead. Nice. Let's go open. Open dead. Nice. Open dead. One more P5. I didn't stand open.
All right, so Lamar trying to get these guys going, man. Trying to get these guys to pick up the spawns and trying to get some energy in these guys. I feel like Lamar's always that one guy you hear in the comms when it comes to Seattle Surge. Good comms from them. They end up bringing it back a little bit here. They were able to get okay time. I like these did an okay job just contesting it. And then we go into the P5. This was a pretty mixy hill, just trading some time. And this is where things get interesting. Seattle Surge, they get to this third P1 early. But take a look at those arrows from LA Thieves. They end up sending two guys to go all the way around for those P2 spawns. I like that play. I like that they focus the P2 side of the map because P1's not important for them right now. They end up working some trades. I think if you're Seattle, you need to be stacked more towards Dome here. I think teams need to start predicting this now. What do you guys think? I think they need to start predicting people going around and stacking that P2 side like off this break. I don't know if you guys agree with me.
People normally do. I just feel like Dante no help and he's just trying to play his life. We normally see
he should have help is what I'm saying. He should have help.
We normally see a Dome guy kind of rotating and helping that water hop and like that pinch.
You don't need two guys P3 right now. You don't need two guys up there.
Is number 4, is he in hill or is he in the water? I think he's in the hill, right?
Number 4 is in the water. In the water swimming. But the thing
no, Dante had nothing.
is even if LA Thieves wants to rotate back through front and they get the kills and single them out and try and get this P1 time, at least Seattle holds on to those spawns because they can still throw their tags, get in there, like make it contest it, make it mixy, and still hold on to those P2 spawns. Because once you're in a position like this, now you're chalked if you're Seattle Surge because it didn't focus Dome and didn't focus P2. The spawns flip and Envoy completely poops on him for the dub. Envoy just went absolutely nuts to end this one. So shout out to him. He pops a 4-piece to end it. You can see they're all smiles. A little bit of a mishap from Seattle there. I'm just curious to see if we're going to see teams like stacking that dome area when it's going back to that P1. Because I just feel like teams are constantly going around now and sending more than one guy taking that long route. So something to pay attention to.
I feel like top. No, you can go, Pat.
I was just say we were gassing Joe Deceives, but honestly, I think what Envoy did was way more impressive. 34-15 on a map that's way harder to do this with a sub than Fortress is, and against probably the best, if not one of the best SMGs in the game, and also I would say a much better team in Surge over Rokkr. So 30 non-traded kills with a sub is pretty absurd on Hydra.
Yeah, Envoy went insane, dude. He was insane the whole series. Even the start off the S&D, we get into the Embassy S&D.
He had himself a day.
He overheats. He was going so crazy that he overheats, starts shooting at his teammate, and Matt gets one, and AG just finds two. Like, they went absolutely rogue to start things off. I think Envoy was just feeling himself a little bit. We end up getting tied up at 1. Love the plays here from AG. He does this a lot in S&D, man. AG's got to be careful because I feel like teams are going to start playing from him. He likes to make a lot of solo plays, likes to get aggressive, likes to find gaps, and he's very good at it. I like that he does it because I want to see them taking risk and stuff. I just think he's got to be careful because it was a round in this map where I felt like AG, he got picked out, and I feel like teams, especially like the top teams, like Ian, we've played back in the day. Pat, you played back in the day. Sometimes you know what a player's going to do. Like, you just know how they like to play. You know their tendencies, and you can take advantage of it. And I think AG...
teams will specifically... play to kill him on the round and then go from there.
Yeah.
People used to do that to you all the time, Tom.
Yeah, no, they did.
Like, they know that you like to take routes, so they would just play for you.
Yep. And the only problem is they just had a hard time killing me even when they played for me. You know what I mean?
I mean, because come on.
You know what I mean? That was
Pat
the problem.
definitely was never killing you, ever.
Well, I was gonna say, Ian, no one was ever playing for you on the map. They're like, yo, just let Ian be wherever he wants.
Yeah, I play with Ian. Ian was icy, bro. He
don't know, Tom. He don't know.
He don't know. Yeah, he don't understand. It's all good though. Then we get into the 1-2 round. AG continues to get aggressive on a map. He's all over the place. Last one up's going to be Kenny, but they get the retake. Just good heads up play Seattle to push out PD. Started with AG. They go up early, man. They go up about 1-4 here. They actually go up 3 rounds. And again, this was kind of looking like the first series, like the comeback. The 1-3 round, we get into it. It's a 1v1 from Dante. Love the spot here. Little creddy spot from Dante. Don't see people do this much. But he's just laying down in the back corner of the map. It's just a very unpredictable spot. Octane doesn't even look at it. And Dante, he's able to win the 1v1. Just love the heads-up play there from Dante to lay down in a random corner in the back of the map. I feel like whenever you do like weird creddy spots like that, they always work. Like people just don't predict them. So good shots out of Dante. Then we get into the next round. Lamar sticks his teammate in the back of the head. Down goes AG. He gets team killed. This round was pretty much chalked off the rip. You could kind of see the last few guys over at P2. They get kind of blundered by the LA Thieves. So LA Thieves able to get another round on the board. Go ahead, Pat. You going to say something?
No, no.
Or Ben or something. I thought somebody was about to say something. And then we get into the next round. This is a 2-4 round. Envoy. He just makes some really good plays here. He gets pushed up front. He's able to take down AG. This is one of those rounds, right, where AG gets pushed out, but he kind of gets picked there. They see what he's doing. He likes to run out of PD a lot. And then Envoy, good heads-up play here. He's going to lay down, wait for Lamar to rotate over. Just Envoy, again, playing those corners, hitting routes, switching up his lanes. He's just an absolute problem on a map. Dante, he crouch walks for about 30 seconds and dies. And then we get into the 3-4 round. This is where Seattle, they start breaking down, man. Seattle start breaking. It's Draza who's able to find one over by that P2 side of the map. It was on to Lamar, who was playing those cars, and he ends up getting killed by the car bomb. So car bomb goes down. Trades are going down in the middle of the map. Ben, I know you were talking about Dante in this play. What happened? You think he blacked out, Ben? You think he blacked out a little bit?
If you back it up, like, I know they got blooded, so I think he had a couple of different options here. I don't know if they didn't know if these had crossed, right? So I think maybe he assumed they did, and that's why he thought he can run into like bottom halls for free.
Yeah.
If he had sat there and held the planner, he probably could have been able to play some more information, probably made a smarter play in hindsight, but you know, just didn't really set his team up for success in that 2v3.
Yeah, he blacked out. He was just running with his knife out. I don't know what Dante's plan was right there, but he almost shanked his ass. Would have been a good play if he knifed him. Then we get into the 4-4 round. This was the round right here that I noted down for AG. It's a 3v3 situation. You know Seattle is working towards that B bomb plant. Like, you know they're going to try and make a play. I would just like to see AG do something with his team here. I think he tries to go a little rogue. He tries to run out of PD. And Kenny just catches him slipping. And then you can see once that happens, Seattle get the bomb down. It just would have been a lot better if they get the bomb down with AG roaming in PD. Now AG dies PD. They know where Lamar's going to be. Let's be honest. You know Lamar's going to be top PD looking over the bomb. So it's just a pretty predictable setup. Mac, he's going to end up actually playing his life. Lamar saved his life here, but LA Thieves, they somehow find pick both Lamar and Mac here. So you can see number 4, Envoy, he's going to make a play for Lamar. He ends up taking him down. And then Mac, he gets called out top AC, or he gets picked out. Great shots come out of Octane. LA Thieves played this one pretty well. If AG, do you guys agree with me there with AG? Maybe just playing his life a little bit more there. 3v3 situation, 40 seconds. If you're going to get the bomb down, like work with your team there.
I think, Tom, that's what LAT did. I think they made the mid-game adjustments, and you could tell they started playing for Pred to make a play.
Yeah, they waited for him.
If he sits there, they probably win the round instead of trying to do too much. Obviously, it's just a good play out of Ken, but the other thing is, I don't know about you guys, but I hated how they played the 2v2. Like, I feel like now every team knows if they're like alive in a 2vx situation, there's someone top PD.
Yeah.
So I feel like the top PD guy should be worried about his top PD instead of being the first one to check the bomb. Like, I think Max should have checks on the bomb. Lamar should literally be playing just for his life.
Agreed.
Until he gets the info from Max.
It's normally how people play it, but if that like side planner guy dies, like Dante in the situation, then it becomes harder. I feel like the better.
I'm saying the 2v2. In the 2v2 right there.
I was getting there, which is like, I feel like MC is a good example of someone that does that correctly. He does a really good read of making sure he's playing for office, whether someone's pitching him from behind or in top halls, and kind of be able to trust that there's a check elsewhere. I mean, Seattle's gotten screwed so many times in those 2vx situations on this map, like trying to check B-bomb, either getting picked by a guy on it or just getting ninja diffused on.
And then AG just doing what he does best. I mean, this guy just finds 3 on the round. He pushes side door, gets 1, then pushes into PD, fries 2 guys. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. Great shots out of AG. We know what he brings to the table. He ends up pushing this to a round 11. One thing you can't take away from AG is his confidence, man. He's never afraid to make a play, and he's 14-5 right now. He's doing everything he can to try and keep these guys in this one and try and get this W. And then we get to the last round, Seattle. They get the bomb down. This is a round that I thought that they were going to win, but Envoy, he makes the heads-up play. He's able to get pushed up on this ladder here, and I don't know, man. I just feel like LA Thieves, they just blind countered this. They knew nobody was going to be watching this. I feel like they kind of predicted the fast B rush here, the fast B rush plant type of setup, that they took advantage of the flank. And Envoy, he doesn't even hesitate, which, you know, I talk about this all the time. Like, if you're going to make a play call and actually do something, no hesitation, no hezzy, hit that is the best thing you can do. When you start hesitating and doubting yourself, you're going to throw your timings off. So Envoy, no fucks given. He's going to hit the flank, have a teammate watch over him, and you could kind of see how that dismantles the Seattle Surge setup. Like, just a great play call from LA Thieves. I'm not sure who made the call for them to hit around the back and hit through PD, but that was a really good call. I'd really like that. So great job from the Los Angeles Thieves. They're able to clutch up the last round. Great route from Envoy. Ben, I know you were saying you thought Lamar maybe should have tried to stay alive here top window, but he was dead regardless. He was getting flanked. So Lamar was kind of screwed here. And then, they all go down one by one.
It was just a perfect hard counter, to be honest.
Yeah.
The way LAT player, like you said.
Sam getting top AC basically fucked that whole thing, because Sam's the one that killed Lamar in the end anyway, and it's just such a weird retake situation. But yeah, I mean, when it came down to it, bro, like, they didn't read the pinch quick enough. Dante got bad timing checking their flank. He died, and that was basically GG at that point.
Yeah, any final thoughts? AG went 15-6 for the L. I would have raised. I would have lost full.
So he started. Sorry for cutting you off, Tom, but I'm pretty sure he started 9-1. So then he went 6-5 after that.
Yeah,
I think LAT just did what you said.
They adapted.
They just adapted to it, and when that happens, he needs to then switch up his play style.
Yeah, agreed. I think. Bro, even if AG wants to pull out a scar or something, you know what I mean? Like, do something weird.
Just catch him off guard.
Yeah, like, do weird stuff that just, like, people won't predict him doing. Because, let's be honest, bro, like, AG's got that talent. Like, he can run a scar. Like, he could pull it out. He could switch up his angles, switch up his lanes. Like, they can come out. They could come up with more strats other than just, like, AG going rogue and making a play. But, hey, it went round 11. They almost had it, but then we get into the El Asilo control. First offense was a quick offense. Seattle had the perfect break. They get a clean wipe off the rip. They get the B point, and then it's only a matter of time to this A point. It was actually LA Thieves that just kept rotating right. Lamar was trying to do everything he could in this first round to get these boys out of the spawn because he was going off. Lamar actually didn't play too bad today. I felt like at times he needed some help, to be honest with you, in the respawns, but Lamar with some nice shots onto Draza. That's going to open it up. That's a big two-piece field side. Then he finds another guy, picks up 3. I mean, Lamar was just making plays, getting out of spawn. And then AG, he's going to find 1. Seattle Surge, they go up 1-0. And then they end up, it was a pretty clinical defense out of them. I think they end up going up 2-0 here. And then this is where things get interesting. Seattle, they don't decap the B point here, and we talked about this on LAN because I was like, bro, I swear on LAN nobody ever decaps the points, but now I'm just starting to think it's the pros in general. They don't decap the point, bruv.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, like
rookie mistake.
You can see here. So LA Thieves, they're on the point. They get 2.5 ticks. AG, he's gonna get 1. Matt gets 1. Lamar gets the other. Boom. Look how close that B point is to being capped. Dante, he depletes it for like a second, but nobody gets back on there to deplete. And then look how easy it is for the LA Thieves. Even right here, like somebody deplete here.
Someone could be on, just, you have to.
Yeah, like this doesn't make any sense. This makes absolutely no sense here.
Well, Dante can get, like Dante could soak. I mean, they have a guy on AC, so like if Dante needs to get off and help them in the field, like he can. I think if him sitting in decapping would have been the wise play because look, bro, there's a third of this left. The minute the Thieves get on it, they don't even need a couple of seconds and it's chalked.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, look at LA Thieves. They have 1 dead and they're still hopping. Like they probably even called it out. Yeah, they knew. They were like, yo, they didn't take this. Like they didn't take the ticks down. Just hop it. Like this is a free cap. So not sure what the hell Seattle Surge is doing right there, man. Like if they go back and watch that one, I'm curious to see what they say about that. But then we get into the next round, and this is the overtime round. Seattle actually with 26 seconds left, they're gonna clutch this up. They're able to get onto this B point. Lamar's gonna get streaked somehow, but as that happens, the last second here, they somehow are able to get this B point. Streak is gonna go down. You can see it was Kenny who was pushing through that right side. He kind of spawns them close B, and all of Seattle, they just decide to push up the map and get aggressive. They get onto that B point. Kenny, he was behind him trying to make something happen, but once they turn around and take Kenny out of the spawn, Seattle Surge, they were able to get that B point and push another minute on the clock. So great plays out of them to get that B point. And then as we go over to this A point, they kind of rotate back to the left. They try and get some kills. It starts with Lamar again, man. Another 2-piece from Lamar.
He played good.
Yeah, he played really good, man. I felt like Lamar was really showing out.
Is this the first series this Surge team has had, maybe this year, that Lamar was literally the best player in the series?
That ain't right. That ain't right.
I mean, that's not even like a roast. It's just like, I think this was like the only...
Lamar's been, to be honest, Pat, Lamar's been playing good, bro, for these guys, like the last few series. Like, I feel like Lamar's been playing pretty good for them.
Nowhere near the best player in the series.
He was the best player on their team, I think, the whole series, if we look at it in context.
Yeah, this series, that's what I'm saying. Is that the first time we've ever seen this?
Maybe. I doubt it.
There's got to be a series from last year where he
had to go on. This year. This game.
I can't remember one this year where he was like this. He was a clear number one, because obviously we're doing that because Pred had a bad map 1. Like I don't think Pred played awful on the other maps. But
Actually,
I mean, yeah, they
it
did.
did happen before. I remember
34 and
It was a-
22 from Lamar. Unbelievable.
It was a series where I forget, he fried on like a hotel hard point and they lost the series. I swear, every time he does the best on this team, they lose. This guy's got to stop doing the best.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
he's got to stop doing the best.
Skills, like,
Lamar, start
yeah,
I swear,
like,
bro. Nah, bro. Pat just can't. You got to give Lamar some credit here, Pat. Got to give him some credit.
Wait, I just said he was the best player in the series.
Yeah, but you told him to not do the best.
I mean,
Lamar, you did great. Start getting shit on
we need to have a conversation about Seattle though at the moment.
Yeah.
Like they obviously had a decent last stage, and I know they kind of ended up really poor at the end. They've been on kind of an L streak in Hardpoint. If we think about things going all the way, like
they're focusing too much on their S&D. They've been focusing too much on their search. The search is a problem. They were like 0 and 1 million on search, and then they probably focused so heavy on it that their other game modes probably went down a little bit. I mean, it happens all the time with a lot of teams.
So they went 1-1 on hard points against FaZe. They lost both of them against Optic, and now lost both of them against Steve. So they're on a little bit of a slide when it comes to hard point. It's just a small slide. It's not a big one. But
I mean,
just
those are good
Seattle
hardpoint teams besides FaZe.
Yeah, it's just like to monitor with the Seattle team going forward in the rest of the stages. They can kind of stem sort of negative tide they have right now in this game mode.
Yeah, and then we get into the fourth map, and this is just where LA Thieves have an absolute field day. They're able to chain a couple hills early. They go up pretty quickly, and again, just want to show some love to the boys over at LA Thieves because I thought they made this look easy. Envoy, again, he turned up. He started going crazy towards the second rotation. I mean, this was a map where I just felt like LA Thieves just outplayed Seattle to the core. They went up by so many points on the first rotation that unless we see like a Doug Spencer Martin comeback that we saw in Challengers, I just, I don't see LA Thieves giving up a lead like this, to be honest with you. They're up 100 points going into the second set. And they do a good job just staying ahead of rotation. After this P5 hold and them being up 100, it was a pretty comfortable map the whole way through. We could kind of skim through it and kind of see what was happening. But before I get you guys' final thoughts, just want to give a shout out to Envoy. I thought he played great today. I thought that he was like their guy, dude. Just like taking routes, being a nuisance, being annoying, like finding constant pieces. I just thought he played great for them. But any final thoughts, guys, on the series?
LA Thieves look good, and I think, Ben, I know you didn't believe me, but I think Surge is going to be back on the roller coaster this event.
Oh, sheesh.
Bro, it's one series, although I will say for Thieves, the 2-0 weekend is extremely typical. Their online results have sometimes not been consistent. I know, I've been playing a lot of FIFA recently with Cap and Shane. Like, they've been trying to get off to a good start this stage. They didn't have the best of time last major, and they want to kind of get some positive momentum. Ideally win an event or two before champs, and so this is a great start for them.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the only thing I take away from it, Tom, is when you have, I mean, honestly, everyone on their team, but especially Envoy and Draws in the entire series playing as well as they did. Yeah. I know Draws kind of didn't play too good this last map, but as a whole, they're going to be almost unbeatable if those players are playing that well individually, because they are so good when it comes to the team aspect of COD.
Yeah, you think that separates them almost, like when they're playing like top teams, like they just have like that difference maker with like the teamwork.
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows because I think they're the team that has the closest series. And like you look at the post game scoreboards, and they all got like 0.8s, 0.9s, and you're like, yo, they could have won that series.
Yeah.
Like many other teams, when that happens, if it's just a bad day, they're getting blown out.
Yeah.
But LAT just they make it close. I feel like majority of the time, even if they lose.
Yeah, I agree. I think when their guns are hot, they're a scary team. I mean, I've been saying this. I've been gassing up the Thieves this year. After what they did last year in Vanguard and how slow they started, and then they just completely turned it around. And at the end of the game, they just looked unstoppable. Like the last two events, even when you just listen to like their comms and stuff, like the listenings and stuff, you could just tell that they're a good team. Like they trust each other, and they're all very good players. And if their guns are hot, for the most part, they're gonna be playing the game the right way, and it shows. It shows when their guns are hot. But go ahead, Ben.
All I'll say, Tom, is that I agree with y'all, but one thing to just note with Thieves too, their biggest actual limiter factor this season, because their hardpoint record in general has been good, is the search and destroy play, especially their ability to win rounds when they get first blood, and it's been a huge problem on Asilo. They haven't yet I think, play the seal of the stage. Both of the S&Ds have been on Embassy, and they've won both. So just like to monitor going forward. If Thieves have kind of cleaned up some of the search issues, I think that's actually going to be the key to them being a dominant team and winning another event this year, like they did going into this stretch run last year, where they won the last event in Champs.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, too, is there's just a lot of competition in the league as well. I mean, there's a lot of good teams. So, like, the problem is there's, like, a lot of teams when they're hot and when they're playing well, like, that's where things get really interesting. As we get through, like, the second half of the year now, like, if teams are playing the game the right way, a lot of it's going to come down to now, like, whose guns are hot, like, who's shooting today. You know, like, who are those guys that are going to come out and just have hot guns? Teams. Yeah, that's what I mean, the top teams, right? Like, if everybody... We get to a certain point now where everybody knows how to play the game the right way. Like, you're going to need to come up with other things, man. Like, people are going to have to make solo plays, and people are going to have to do crazy shit. It's getting to that time of the year. But any final thoughts and anything else before we head into tomorrow's matches? I'm just refreshing real quick so I could get the standings real quick. Let's take a look, actually. But any thoughts on the series, guys, or any thoughts of the day as a whole?
I'm thinking Thieves.
Let's take a look at the matches.
That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
Ben, Pat, any thoughts?
No.
All right, let's see what's going on tomorrow. So tomorrow we got the Toronto Ultra going up against Seattle Surge. We got London going up against Optic Texas. And then we got the Florida Mutineers going up against Atlanta FaZe. We got some good matches tomorrow. We start things off hot with Toronto and Seattle. This is going to be a good one. Seattle, obviously, both these teams are coming off of a loss right now. So we know neither team wants to go tomorrow losing 0-2, going 0-2 on the weekend. Like, these guys are going to be coming out swinging tomorrow. If I had to pick, I'm going to have to go Toronto here. I'm going to have to go Toronto 3-1 over the Seattle Surge. Ian, who do you got?
I got the Ultra. I mean, I think that they still might be a little cocky after the win. But Seattle, I agree with Pat when he says they're just so inconsistent up and down. And I don't think they're going to have a good stage. So I have Toronto 3-1.
Clip that for me, by the way. And turn that into a sound bite.
Bad, who do you got?
Also, Pat's fucking I'm just kidding.
I got a Toronto last map. I think, again, if it's going to be a tight series, come down to the team I feel more confident in search, it's going to be Toronto. So there you go.
Pat?
Toronto 3-0. I'm gonna do a DoorDash challenge.
Wow, you doing a DoorDash challenge for this one?
I think they're gonna fry him, Tom. I think Toronto's gonna bounce back hard, and I think Surge is just gonna be on that slow little creep down.
Boy, big as hell.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the DoorDash challenge is in, and then we got London Royal Ravens going up against Optic Texas. I got Optic Texas 3-0. 3-0 smoke. I don't know what's going on with London, bro. Every time I watch them play, I have no idea what they're doing. Like, I actually feel like they don't even, like, work together. Like, there's just no teamwork at all. It's lost. They're lost in the sauce right now. But who do you got, Ben? Or Ian? You go first, Ian.
You don't even got to ask me, bro. London is chalk.
They're chalk
3-0
right now.
Optic.
And
London don't got nothing to play for.
That don't mean nothing, though. They can still win events.
Let me also say this. I don't think the players on London are bad players.
No, they're not.
There's something going on where they're just not working together and there's no chemistry at all. And that's like a huge problem. Like there is legit there's nothing there. Like I would hope that the culture in the camp is good, because if it's good, they should have a long talk. They should have a long talk. They should sit down, make sure they're really watching these VODs and actually like seeing the mistakes they're making, because they are good players. And if they could just work, if they could put it together as a squad, I could see it working. But what I've been seeing recently, bro, there's just not much you could say about it anymore, to be honest. But Ben, who do you got?
It's another tough one for London, man. I'm gonna give them like one map against Optic, but I think Optic's gonna win 3-1.
Pat?
Yeah, this ain't gonna be close.
DoorDash number 2.
Is another DoorDash?
That boy big as hell. He ordered him twice.
Might have to do Uber Eats on one and DoorDash on the other, bro. Cause
wait, what about the next series, Pat? Florida, Atlanta. Do you think that's another 3-0?
He's massive.
Yeah, we might actually have a 9-0 day. I might have to do Postmates as well.
All right, who do you got, Pat? You go for Atlanta, Florida. We'll start things off with you.
I'm going 3-0, 3-0,
3-0. You're going 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. Okay. Yeah, who do you got?
I'm gonna be honest. I think Florida could win this series. Atlanta FaZe's hard point is dog, which makes no sense.
It is bad right now.
But I'm gonna still go 3-2 Atlanta FaZe. I think they're too strong in other places, but I don't know. Their respawn is just questionable for me.
They go too rogue. Yeah, they're hard. I don't know what it is with hardpoint. At least I think I know what it is, but I don't know what kind of conversations they're having. But definitely seems like they play too overconfident sometimes. They overheat too much in hardpoint. They're challenging stuff. They don't need to chow. They're not really staying disciplined on rotations. Just like things that they just need to clean up. Maybe just some bad habits, you know. But if they can fix their hardpoint, I definitely think their hardpoint's a problem right now. I'll go 3-1. Like I can see Florida taking the first map, honestly, like taking the hard point, maybe waking FaZe up a little bit, and then boom, maybe they take the next 3. But I got FaZe in this one, 3-1. What do you got, Ben?
I mean, I think there's a 3-0 FaZe. Florida's map pool just in general is not particularly wide, and it kind of very much suits the maps that FaZe doesn't like to play, like a Fortress S&D. So I do think that FaZe is probably just going to take care of business. Also, Florida, I don't know if they're playing this match. Like, I don't even know. Are they playing this match in Wisconsin? They flying back to Florida tonight? Like, that's a big question mark. If they're flying back, or they have to stay an extra day in Wisconsin, like, they may not be in the right mindset for a match against a very good team.
Yeah. Was that everybody? And you gave yours, right? Everybody gave their predictions?
Yeah, 3-2, 3-2.
They lost pretty early. They could have just left tonight regardless.
That's a quiet flight home, Pat. I think they're staying.
You think
They fly all the way back to Florida, don't they? That's a long flight.
I thought they were gonna fly back.
I doubt anyone's got. I mean, if you're in Madison, you don't have a direct flight.
I mean, nah, you're right. What do you do in Wisconsin? Eat cheese and shit?
I've never been
watch the Badgers.
I've never been to Wisconsin. If you're in the YouTube comments or you're in the chat now and you live in Wisconsin, what is the go-to thing to do there?
Wait, LAG
it might be low key might be the spot. Low key might be the spot.
LAG was putting on the timeline. It's the best Italian food they've ever had.
Really?
I saw C tweet that. I was actually mind blowing.
Nah, those
C tweeted it was the best Italian food he's ever had.
Yeah,
maybe. I mean, hey, I've never been to Wisconsin. I can't knock it till you go there. Have you guys ever been or no?
Bro, they eat deer and shit out there. They don't got good Italian.
They do that. They do that on the East Coast.
Deer's good. Deer's good.
Deer's not that bad. I was about to say.
No, deer's good, but like, bro, they don't. Who's Italian that lives in Wisconsin, Tom? You got any family members that live in Wisconsin?
I don't know anybody in Wisconsin.
You know, they came over. They didn't move to Wisconsin.
Nah,
we're about to get so much hate from people. Wisconsin.
I'm white. Bunch of Caucasian motherfuckers over in that state. For real.
Bro.
My fault. All right, clip that out. Take that out.
Yo, nah. I mean, listen, I've never been, but definitely, I don't think there's any Italians down there. And if there is, I don't know about them. And if they're down there, I gotta go visit because that's my fam right there. You know, it's my family. You know
that's true. That's true.
Those are my guys. I gotta go check out this Italian restaurant. But Ben, put us out, mother. Hey, Ben, you better sink the putt too, because yesterday was atrocious.
Oh, I was putting horrible on stream earlier, so I'm not really super confident this one, but we'll see what happens.
Ian, you are the special guest of the day. Where is this putt going?
Right in his mouth, like a binky. No, I'm just kidding. I think he's singing it. So does my dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, the dog ain't in. He's got the blow it up shirt on. He's gonna step up with the stinky slippers on. That was ice cold. Out of Ben Genesim. I mean, that is just
show ass. Oh, sorry. I thought I was muted.
Yeah, but it's cropped. He did it. That was like 6 feet.
Yeah. Hey.
6 feet. The shirt looks good though, Pat.
It's a 7-foot putt, Ian.
Nice job. Hey, Ben, I picked you to make it.
Yeah, he did. He did say you were gonna make it.
Hey, let's get it. Ian.
Yeah, he did say that.
That's my FIFA duo.
Yes, sir. Ben, you say 7 feet, but you definitely move it up. It's all good though. You move it up.
Bro, I literally don't, bro. Why are y'all just hate on the putts, dude?
It's all good.
Yeah, you see Tom grabbing the chat, Ian. He said, "Bang."
Oh,
that's my boy. That's my boy right there. Mini meat.
Hey, let's
appreciate you, bro.
Hey, yo, what? Hey, yo. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for the flank today. Yo, Ian, thank you for coming on, bro. Late notice, man. We literally asked you like, yes, sir. It was a pleasure having you on. It was a blast. Yes, sir.
Tom, can I just say something?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead, bro.
You're my guy, Tom. You're handsome. Had a blast. Ben, you're my guy. FIFA duo. Pat, you cost me a ring.
Damn.
Team Day to be 5-5 at COD Champs. I'm dying with that.
Damn.
And I got first blood right after that. And
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Wait, you realize,
I'll smoke you in a race.
You realize what really happened was the guy who didn't even show up today. We got TR. We're the only team that got TR to agree to no GAs at that, or to agree to GAs at that champs. And then this guy wanted to use a shotgun.
Haggy pulled out shotgun COD Champs. That's the last thing I'm gonna say. Yo,
damn, what the hell?
To the Bible.
No.
Haggy broke GAs, and we got smoked by Nogafin with a LMG thermal
and the IMRs and the whatever else they had.
Unacceptable.
He said no.
Thank you for having me, though, Tom. I appreciate it.
To the Bible. Listen, guys, that's going to do it for us. Give a round of applause for Enable, man. Get to Enable the chat. Get to Enable in the comments on YouTube, man. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And get at FM/TheFlake to check out audio sites that we're on. And go follow at The Flake on Twitter. Gert's doing a phenomenal job running socials per usual. Also, be on the lookout. Website out soon in a couple weeks. We'll give you guys the domain as soon as I know exactly what it's going to be. But stay tuned. We got a website coming out. It's going to be merchandise and some other cool stuff on there. So just make sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Brush your hair. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on another episode of The Flake, man. Take it easy.
Peace.
Fuck the nub.